Chat.
Yeah, I told him we were coming on later. Sorry for the issues that made me late.
We're here. Dirk's chilling. Already talked about some movies.
Cool. I saw you added questions.
Yeah, I don't really have great questions, but we can just talk about the damn movie.
Cool.
I think we'll be okay.
Do you guys want to talk about Vacation Friends or no?
I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
Well, JP and Doug are the only ones who've seen it, so.
Oh, okay.
Probably doesn't need to be talked about. It's okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot to say on that one.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's it's okay.
I felt like I paid just the right amount of money to watch that.
That's true. That's true. I don't know if it was worth the 2.5 minutes of commercials right before it started, but yeah. That's for you to decide. Feels like a free movie.
Yeah. Alrighty. Ready when you guys are.
Just give me 1 second.
Oh, I didn't watch the Red Dick trailer.
I didn't realize the new Sopranos trailer came out today. Not adding it to this, but I was like, how the fuck did I miss this? Yeah, Matrix trailer comes out at 9 a.m.
Nice.
They have like a YouTube countdown. Do you guys watch the pill thing, like on the website?
I did.
It's fucking awesome how every minute it changes the time.
I didn't notice. I haven't got on
that's-
it.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's neat.
And like not even just that, but the clips change as well,
Yeah,
depending
I watched
on
it.
when you watch it.
Yeah, I watched it twice because I wanted to click both pills, and it was cool that the thing changed, and I saw different clips, so I almost went to watch it a third time, but
Yeah, the blue, it was NPH for you, right? I was talking.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, the red pill was Black Manta, and or the red pill was Black Manta, and the blue pill was NPH for me.
Yeah, I didn't notice either. I was just like, wait a minute. I wanted the blue pill to be just like,
Nothing.
yeah, you get to stay in the Matrix.
That's what it would have made more sense.
Because, of course, I did the red pill first. 'Cause I was like, gotta do the red pill and see what happens. But then I was like, alright, let me just see, like, what the blue pill is going to be like. And I was
so I've given
disappointed
up.
that
Yeah,
it was something.
I've given up on my idea of not watching the trailer. I can't fucking wait. I'll be watching it at 9:15 after my call ends. Okay.
All right. Everyone's record. Something weird's happening with Zencaster, so just double check that you guys are in there. I think it's just the website. I don't think it's anyone specifically. Website's just being weird.
What'd you say?
Just check that everyone is in. Each of you just check that you're in Zencaster, and it looks good. Okay.
JP's running some health checks.
Yeah, I see that.
Corey,
Yeah.
says proceed with caution.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see that too.
it always says that for me. Yeah.
Says health check passed, but revealed warnings. Proceed with caution.
JP's running.
Mine says ready to record. So I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
sometimes
You and
it
me
like
have the same.
it like checks everyone's connection, and that's what that means.
Yeah. The timer's not running on mine.
No, I didn't start it
Yeah.
yet.
Okay.
I actually don't know if I can, if health checks are still running.
I mean, we've all been in there now for like 20 minutes, haven't we?
I just refreshed the page because I didn't.
I've been in Zencaster for about an hour.
Yeah,
and a half.
I think that's the reason. I think because we were sitting in like the room for a while, and it probably just it didn't refresh.
I got on like 20 minutes ago and I was the last one on. So
Yeah, I opened it up like almost an hour and a half ago, I think. Like that. Yeah, I guess
is that
try
Jack and Coke, Murph?
Yeah, how'd you know?
I mean,
I wasn't in a beer mood.
yeah, I'm doing bourbon.
Nice.
Maybe try reloading one more time, JP.
Okay. I'm just gonna exit. I'll come back in. And go back to the screen. I don't know who's got some kind of like clinging or
Okay.
clanging going on.
Playing in it.
Probably me. I'm using like the trackpad a lot because I don't have my mouse plugged in.
All right, I think we're good.
Yeah, you might want to plug your mouse in.
I'm just trying to get my screen set up. It won't be doing that.
And we're back. I apologize for the coughing tonight, but that's not going to stop.
I don't hear you anymore, Murph. Are you talking? Yeah, I can't hear you. Can everyone else hear Murph?
No.
No.
Okay.
Murph is inaudible.
It looks like you muted yourself or something. It says no.
Yeah, Murph's muted and deafened.
Yeah,
You can't
it says
hear
no
us.
headset.
There you go.
Oh, you can't hear us either.
Now we can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You were muted
Yeah.
and deafened.
What happened?
You were muted and deafened, so you couldn't hear us or speak to
I-
us.
I was earlier today, like when I was watching The Crow, but
Yeah.
I turned those things off.
It was just.
I just did an audio test, and then that was it, and then it came back on.
Oh, that's so weird.
I was like screaming testing. So I was like, oh, shit, I hope they didn't have to hear that.
Live, breathe, testing.
What's going on with Zencaster?
Zencaster's fine.
It's running.
Yeah, it's running. It's recording.
It's running. I don't see anything for my thing, which I don't understand.
Well, it did say proceed with caution, so.
Yeah, Corey, are you being cautious? Because it can probably sense that you're not being cautious.
Should still record my thing though.
Just be sure that you're speaking cautiously. Don't want to freak it out or anything. Why are they gonna do that?
And this US Open match is probably going to go on so late tonight.
How long can they possibly play tennis for?
5 hours, sometimes.
It's too many hours.
It's only in the first set right now, and it's tied, and it's 10 p.m., so it's going to be a late one.
It's fucked up. Corey, we can totally hear you.
Yeah, I know, but it's not coming up on Zencaster for whatever reason. Don't understand why.
Should we like reset up another Zencaster?
Give me a second.
Are we live? People can hear us?
Yeah, Derek's here, Kate's here. Just
What
watching
up?
our struggles, judging us.
All right.
What up, peeps?
Hello.
No,
Okay.
no.
We should be good now, I think.
You tapped on it enough?
Tap, 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 All
Alright.
right, let's rock and roll then.
Yep, tapping some more. You got it.
Tap it up, Corey. Tap it up.
Just keep
Tap,
just keep
taparoo.
tapping. Just tap, 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 tap.
Testing, Douglas. Testing.
Oh, same.
Am I supposed to do testing? Testing?
Yes. Everyone. Yeah.
Testing,
Okay, we're good.
testing. 1, 2,
Yes.
3.
We're good. Technology, yes.
All right, let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to Live Breathe Film, episode 52. You're here with Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph. Thanks as always for joining us. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive conversation on The Crow from 1994. It's the second pick of our Live Breathe Film Club. But before we get to that, let's run through some news and our thoughts on Shang-Chi, the season 3 premiere episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, and episode 6 and 7 of Ted Lasso season 2. All right. With news, we'll go straight to box office. We're ending our summer box office pool at this point. It's been the end of Labor Day weekend, so we're just gonna shut it down.
And Murph's handedly
Are we gonna shut it down though, Kurt?
killing
'Cause
us all.
I think my movies have like another $300 million in them, so I think this is kind of shenanigans. I think shutting it down this early is criminal. And I will demand a recount. So,
I mean, if you guys would
Paw
like
Patrol is about to hit it and just like crush it in a couple weeks. So
if you'd like to continue, by all means. I think in our next episode we can move on to just recapping the summer as a whole, what we picked right and not right, and then do our draft picks for the fall. Move on to the fall. How does that sound?
you know what? Just because I know how scared you are of all our movies leapfrogging you, I think we can call it. We'll let Murph win this one, and just move on to the fall.
Honestly, you guys are very generous people.
We would
I
never hear
appreciate
the
your
end of
kindness.
it. He would just keep saying stuff about,
They know me too well.
Murph's
So
just
true.
worried about Paw Patrol.
Yeah, I mean, it could do.
When people
Big
figure
numbers.
out that Reminiscence actually released in a movie theater, you are fucked.
Reminiscence with its whopping $4 million total. They've already stopped tracking it on Box Office Mojo. But yeah, the last 2 weeks have been pretty crazy. Shang-Chi had a monster opening weekend for Labor Day. Not in comparison to many MCU movies, but as far as Labor Day weekend, that had a 90 million opening dollar weekend.
That's pretty.
I think it was 94.
94 over the 4-day weekend. So that's about over three times as much as the previous record. 2007's Rob Zombie version of Halloween.
I can't believe that held the record for this long.
People didn't put shit out on Labor Day. It's like a shitty weekend. But when it comes to you put out a good movie, or a movie that people want to see, it's ultimately going to make money. I mean, I think we thought last year Tenet was going to break the Labor Day record, but it was just too early in the pandemic for that to happen. But yeah, when it comes to Marvel, people are going to go out in theaters. And unlike Black Widow, this went exclusive to it, to theaters, and I going to have a major impact. Looks like this will be the first movie to top Bad Boys for Life in 2020 and 2021. So it'll be the biggest movie since Rise of Skywalker in America. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, it's making studios less nervous about the fall. That if they put out movies that people actually want to see, people are going to go see them. And maybe don't do your shit day and date if you have the opportunity. As we've seen with Free Guy and some of these other movies this summer, the ones that go only in theaters have far longer legs and perform better for a greater amount of time. Cruella being an example. Another example, or sorry, not Cruella, Quiet Place being another example, F9 being another example of one that was surprisingly leggy for a Fast and Furious movie. I think the leggiest since like Too Fast, Too Furious. So pretty cool. And then we've also seen other ones that went day and date that had legs. Jungle Cruise had surprisingly long legs, and so did Cruella. But Black Widow did not. Yeah, other than that, Candyman had a strong opening weekend, 20-something million. Held on decently. Had a 53% drop, which isn't that crazy for a horror movie. It's actually pretty good for a horror movie. And then, Free Guys continued to hold. So here's where we ended our pool. Fourth place, we had Corey with 268 million. We have to remember that he did lose a movie. We were all supposed to have 6. He only had 5. Same situation with Doug, who came in third place with 316 million. He lost Hotel Transylvania. JP in second.
May as well have lost 2 movies.
Yeah. You're kind of right. I think you had the 2 lowest grossing ones.
Yeah.
But you came in second place with 370 million, so pretty solid difference between second and third place. And then I came in first with 523 million. Next week we can do more of an analysis of what we did right, what we did wrong, movies that we didn't pick that we probably should have, movies that we picked that we probably shouldn't have, other things like that. All right, release dates. Like I said, the Shang-Chi box office has made people less nervous about about putting out their movies soon. So you guys remember when Suicide Squad bombed on its opening weekend? Sony pushed Venom back like 3 weeks. They're like, oh, we got Delta to worry about, and now Shang-Chi fucking kills it 3 weeks later. So now they moved Venom up 2 weeks. So that will be coming out August 1st now. He'll be going up against The Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos movie. But that's cool to see. And it gives me hope that Spider-Man will actually come out on Christmas. Also, since an MCU movie just did really good box office numbers and likely will perform well for the next month.
Sony's got to be salivating.
Yeah, they have to be very happy right now. They've been waiting. They really haven't put out anything over the past since March of 2020. So it'll be they have to be excited about these 2 movies coming out, and Ghostbusters which we will note it had a release date change as well, due to Paramount making some major changes. So I know you guys were looking forward to Jackass 4, Top Gun Maverick. Those are no longer coming out this year. They will now be coming out respectively in October and May. So Jackass in February and Top Gun Maverick in May, around Memorial Day weekend, which frankly is a better release date than November for this type of movie, in my opinion. It's very much like a sunny summer type movie from the trailers. I saw that. Yeah, and then other than that, Paramount also had to push back Mission Impossible 7, which was supposed to come out Memorial Day weekend next year, to September of 2022, which is an interesting release date. We've never seen a Mission Impossible movie come out in September. I believe we've seen May, June, November, and December. Or have we seen it in November? We haven't, have we?
I don't think so.
Just December. Ghost Protocol came out in December.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, July, we've seen Rogue Nation and Fallout. May was Mission Impossible 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah. So May, June, July, December, and now September. Be coming out for my 36th birthday weekend, so got that to look forward to. And then, like we said, Ghostbusters Afterlife was pushed back a week because of Paramount moving Top Gun Maverick. They'll now be moving, opening right around Thanksgiving, which is a better weekend. Gives it another week buffer from Eternals, which is likely going to do gangbuster numbers, based on Shang-Chi. Any of these ones you're particularly bummed about moving?
Jackass was a big one for me. I was looking forward to seeing that. At least seeing it sooner than February. And Top Gun.
Yeah.
Top Gun's a big one.
I'd say Jackass was the one for me, just because it was the closest one. Like JP said in our text chain, like anytime you see something move up, it's exciting. But
it's rare.
As always, yeah. I mean, what did we see? 4 movies pushed back for one that moved up.
And unfortunately, that one was Venom.
One that two of you said you were not going to bother seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be better, but we are going to get Matrix Resurrections. We're getting the trailer for that tomorrow, so that'll actually be coming out in December. So it looks like we're going to be
still getting Bond too.
We're still getting Bond. We got the new trailer for that as well. We won't talk about it since we can only talk about Anna de Armas in a black dress kicking people so many times on this podcast. But yeah, it looks like for the most part the fall release dates will remain the same. So that's fantastic. All right, let's talk about trailers. We got 2 Netflix ones that have been released over the past week. We have Don't Look Up with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, and Red Notice with Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, and Gal Gadot. We'll talk about Don't Look Up first, since it came out today. Thoughts, gentlemen? A lot of big names in this one.
Too many big names. It takes half the trailer to name them all.
Some names that I didn't even know.
Yeah. I like seeing another Leonardo DiCaprio performance where he's just like a really eccentric character.
Yeah, he's
just all over the place.
Giving off Once Upon a Time in Hollywood like type of vibes, Wolf of Wall Street type of vibes. More so Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Very colorful performance, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, I like the way they structured the trailer with him just sitting there breathing in front of the mirror and for the
that was cool.
for a while. I actually thought it just restarted. You know how sometimes they'll play part of the trailer in the beginning and then they're like, okay, here's the real trailer. I thought they were doing that to me.
Yeah.
By the 3rd time I realized that
nope, that's it.
Just how they're cutting it, it was cool.
It's a cool way of cutting it, definitely.
Jonah Hill looks really I mean, I feel like he evolves every time he's in a movie. He just looks different.
Jonah Hill looks like he's going to be one of the funny characters in the film.
He looks so out of place, though. In like he's sitting in the Oval Office, he looks so out of place as some sort of like political.
Him and Leo have such chemistry
that's
too.
Intentional. He plays the president's son.
Okay.
I read earlier today. Meryl Streep is the president, and
Okay.
he's Meryl Streep's son, so he's only just handed a job that he definitely should not have.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, they're definitely making everyone out to be just like fucking idiots. Like you can tell, like Kate Blanchett and Tyler Perry, they're like news reporter type people, and like I feel like just Jennifer Lawrence and Leo are just going to be dealing with just nonstop idiots while trying to get this message across that there's an asteroid targeting the Earth, which should be very funny in the hands of Adam McKay.
Or the most terrifying movie ever created, because the end of the movie is going to be like, and there are like 3 comets that are going to hit the planet or come close to hit the planet in the next.
That's how I feel like it's going to end. It's just like the planet blows up.
Yeah.
Maybe this should have came out in 1998 with Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, there are a number of asteroids that
we
are
hear about them.
supposed
Yeah,
to come near. There's one that's like 1 in 715 chance to hit the Earth in the next 20 years.
Yeah,
but he's just gonna throw up some really fucking scary stats at the end of the movie.
Just like like in the other guys.
I fucking hate him. Yeah, just like in the other guys, just like in The Big Short.
Yeah,
like burn in hell.
Vice.
Don't stop preying off my fears, you son of a bitch.
I was very happy because when it starts, the trailer goes from Adam McKay, director of The Big Short and Vice. I'm like, oh man, don't sleep on like the comedies. Like this is like clearly more comedic than those other 2.
Yeah.
And then it adds Step Brothers and Anchorman. Like there you go. Yeah, you got your 2 classics. You got to represent them.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about how horrible Jennifer Lawrence's hair is in this movie?
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah.
You gotta have a hell of a paycheck to butcher my hair like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make her look weird.
I'm really excited to see her in this because apparently, like, he made the movie around like her and her character. Like, she was the first one to sign on and everything, and then he convinced Leo to sign on after. Obviously, Leo is the big name, but I imagine she's getting probably her best role in a long time.
It's been a long time since she's done really anything of note.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
American Hustle was probably like her last big one.
That movie
sucked. She was nominated for Joy for an Academy Award, but that one wasn't that great.
And then she
did Hunger Games and X-Men movies.
And Mother. Let's not forget Mother.
Oh yes, and Mother.
And Mother. Yeah.
Which was not something most people saw.
No.
Since it was very fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got Ariana Grande in the movie. I can't imagine she's. Yeah, Timothy Chalamet, Kid Cudi.
Fucking. Can we just see movies that Timothy Chalamet is not in? Because
he's in everything.
He's in fucking
really
everything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Man.
Ever since Interstellar, then he started just slowly going in everything after that.
Seriously.
And then Chris Evans is in the movie too, but they didn't even show him in the trailer. Apparently he has a small role, but a very funny one.
That's great. Him in a comedic role is just that's gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you guys going to see this one in theaters? I think it's December 10th in theaters and Christmas Eve on Netflix.
I'd like to see it in theaters if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like it would probably be a fun one.
JB, you'll easily be able to see it because it's definitely going to be playing at the Draft House.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be.
Like
it probably convince the wife to see too.
Yeah, like I don't think this one will probably I doubt it'll play at AMC's because they don't have a good relationship with Netflix. But something like Draft House will definitely play it.
I'm sure Cinemark will have it too.
Yeah, they did They had Army of the Dead, so
yeah.
It's likely that they'll probably have this one as well.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I like how they're releasing it prior in theaters. Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it eligible for like all the awards and everything like that, and it increases buzz before it comes out. And it lets people who want to see it in theaters see it in theaters.
Is this going to be the second Netflix movie to ever be released, or have there been others? Because it's Army of the Dead.
Didn't they do it with Marriage Story? Didn't they do it with Marriage Story?
Yeah, they did it with a bunch, but like maybe 10 to 20.
Or
the only one, yeah, The Irishman. But Army of the Dead was the only one to play at one of like the top 3 chains in the country. Okay. Like it was typically only independent theaters or like an Alamo Draft House, which is more specialty.
Yeah.
That would play it. Like we saw El Camino in Alamo Draft House.
Oh, cool.
That was like a one weekend thing, but and then we've saw Marriage Story and in like the Claridge, so like bow tie theaters. The smaller chains will play these,
Cool.
but we'll see. Now that everyone pisses and shits on the theatrical window, like maybe they'll start playing Netflix movies in the big chains and not worry about that.
That'd be awesome.
They're all starved for content, so they really shouldn't say no.
They should
To a
start
Leo movie.
They should start putting out all those Netflix murder documentaries in the movie theaters too.
Yeah, right. Plenty of them. And then the other Netflix movie, Red Notice. This one only on Netflix. Surprisingly, they're not putting in theaters for a couple weeks
Yeah, that's surprising.
because this is like a big budget movie. Like that looks like it would make pretty good money in theaters. Yeah, this is an action like a thief heist romance type movie with The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. What did you guys think about this one?
I think it looks like a lot of fun. Definitely interested in seeing it. This is a movie that I would like to see in theaters instead of on my couch.
It looks like
I thought it looked kind of
It
dumb.
looks like 6 Underground.
That's what I was gonna say. It looks like 6 Underground.
What
And
was
then
that Underground? What was that
three
again?
actors
That is
instead
so
of one.
That is so insulting.
Wait, what
It's
movie
so
is Six
insulting to Ryan
Underground?
Reynolds, who also was in 6
It's-
Underground.
It's the Michael Bay Netflix. Was it Netflix
Yeah, it was Netflix.
Yeah.
movie? One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I kind of remember you guys
It
talking
was really
about
terrible. It was really bad.
it.
And another example of one that only went to Netflix. They didn't bother putting that one in theaters.
Nope.
So maybe it's telling us something.
It's just weird to me because wasn't this movie like incredibly expensive to make?
Yeah, they had to sell it. I think Universal was supposed to make it, and then the budget was just so high that it ended up being sold to Netflix, and
So
they made
why-
it.
It's so
They
curious
fronted the bill.
because
That's crazy. Why would you not put this in theaters?
the special
then?
effects kind of look like shit. Like that Coliseum scene looked fake as fuck.
Yeah, it looks like a backdrop.
It
Like the
looked-
bridge like exploding and like
yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
these movies, though, like the CGI has just been trash.
you are right about that. Like you can look back at older movies from like the 90s and 2000s and they have better special effects because they do more of them like practically.
Mhm.
Um,
Instead of
it's-
just standing in front of a
it's
green
one
screen.
of the problem about the film of the last decade, without a doubt. Like Pirates of the Caribbean looks fucking sick. Tell me, JP, you saw Jungle Cruise. Tell me, Pirates of the Caribbean must have looked so much better than Jungle Cruise as far as effects go.
Yeah, because it was more realistic. But Jungle Cruise, I feel like, wasn't that bad because they didn't try and make it look real.
Okay.
It was like when I talked about this movie, it looked and felt and played like a Disney cartoon,
Yeah.
but with live action actors. But I know what you're trying to say. Like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 was a fucking masterpiece.
They
in
were big
special
ass
effects.
budget movies with practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
Like Davy Jones still to this day, and we've watched it several times over the last couple of years, is just fucking. He's amazing looking.
It's true. Even the CG holds up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, CG was really well done.
I mean, they were some of the most expensive movies of all time, and like they made it known, like it was clear
Damn
on
boats,
the
man.
finished film. Yeah, exactly. That they really put their money to good use.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, but if you just have like green screen and you source it out to fucking parts unknown, you don't know what you're gonna get, and they must have just for this one. It looks like they probably picked a kind of a shitty studio to do it in
Mhm.
God knows where.
But even like Marvel, like Black Widow, I thought the CGI was not great, especially like the free falling scenes where they're like
think
fighting in the
20-minute
sky
fall
and
scene
stuff.
looked believable.
Yeah, I just thought it looked kind of ridiculous.
yeah, the Marvel
Kinda
movies.
Takes me out of the movie.
The Marvel movies all kind of look the same. Some look a little bit better than others. Like I'd still put up a Pirates of the Caribbean better effects than like the MCU movies.
Oh yeah.
So it just kind of like is what it is, unfortunately, at this point. But yeah, what do you guys think? Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, they'll probably be fun together. They look like they'll.
Yeah.
Did anyone saw Hobbs and Shaw, right?
I've seen half of it.
No,
Okay.
not yet. I haven't watched it yet.
Because they have some stuff in those, but they're most yeah they have
It was
yeah
just
they have
that
some
diner
in-person
scene, right,
scenes.
in the beginning.
Yeah, and otherwise I think it's just phone conversations other
Yeah.
than that scene. But I think those two will be amusing together.
I think
for
all three
the
of them
film.
have great chemistry from that trailer. It just the movie
Mhm.
just looks like a pile of shit, honestly. But it'll
Yeah.
just be like a charisma fest because those three.
It looks yep. It looks very like charismatic, like all three leads. Looks like
Quippy.
they're really sexing up the characters too, which is different from than most like movies nowadays. Like I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they're all fairly like big budget like blockbusters are fairly like sexless nowadays.
Everyone's getting less sexy.
They're definitely less sexy. They don't like if you see a kiss in a fucking like big budget PG-13 movie, it's kind of like fucking surprising. Watch it like if you look at all the MCU movies, there's probably like 5 that have kisses in them.
Oh yeah, there's like zero romance. No
Let-
one is attracted to anyone else in those movies except for like
exactly.
Scarlett Johansson like makes kissy face at the Hulk, and then the Hulk turns into a monster, jumps out a window, and then he's gone forever.
Yeah, but this one looks like it's really like
Yeah,
having that be a part of the plot.
it looks like The Rock's gonna hit on Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds is gonna hit on Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds is gonna hit on The Rock, and that's just gonna be the entire movie is them just like
Yeah.
doing stuff and
And
hitting on each other.
The Rock's gonna be hiding his attraction to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's really what it seems like.
Under his gruff exterior.
Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, they're all just gonna be just loving each other.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna arrest you.
it looks like it'll be fun, but it's definitely not gonna like be any innovative type of film.
It
But
does look fun, I think.
for an early November movie on Netflix, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I imagine all 4 of us probably will watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watch Vacation Friends, so I'm definitely gonna watch this.
it's at the price point that Doug is a big fan of.
That is true, and there's
If it's
gonna be
free,
no
I'm gonna
commercials.
watch it.
No commercials in front of it either. So boom. It's
JP, are
already-
you gonna be able to convince the wife to watch it with
she fucking
with The Rock in it?
well, she loves Ryan Reynolds, so
Ooh, so it's about it's a balance.
it got her into Jungle Cruise. She loves Emily Blunt, hates The Rock, loves
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds, hates The Rock.
Perfectly
I don't know how she
balanced.
feels about Gal Gadot though. That could sway it.
I could. If she's not a fan of Wonder Woman, then
I don't think she is.
oh
But
damn.
we'll see.
Well, you got a month to warm her up to this potential movie,
I
or
think
2
she
months.
wants to do it.
Okay. What do you say we move on to the few things that we watched over the past couple weeks? We got some TV and we got a movie. Cool. Let's start with what we do in the shadows. We had the season 3 premiere, which was 2 episodes. I'll just start with saying they haven't skipped a beat. Still
No.
absolutely hilarious.
So many fucks. So many fucks.
Yeah, I
They-
said that.
Did they not used to have them? I don't like recall like so many fucks.
They would say
The-
it was mostly Laszlo just saying fucks all the time, but everyone is dropping fucks everywhere.
Yeah, the
'cause I
dialogue is
watched-
way dirtier than it has been.
I wouldn't say dirtier, but I'd say that there's more cursing.
Yes,
Because I watched season 1 and 2 on Hulu, and I don't remember if it's censored or not.
it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not censored.
it's
Okay.
not.
All right.
But then, like this one, it just right off the bat, like caught me by like surprise. Even like when Colin Robinson's fucking cursing, that's
Yeah.
when you're like, okay, like
Yeah,
they're willing to push the boundaries.
everyone's kind of moody. Like Laszlo's character is incredibly moody over the first two episodes, but
Yeah.
everyone's just sort of moody. Like not
'Cause they're
just
on edge with
fucking
Guillermo.
pissed off
The only
all
one
the
who's
time.
not the only one who's not pissed off is Guillermo.
Yeah, he's the one
he's
who's
just
like
chilling.
he's in a prison. Well, I mean,
No, he's kind of in a prison.
kind of.
That
He has to
was
fake it.
incredible. The fact that he breaks out every day to continue doing his duties and nobody notices.
Yeah,
I loved that.
yeah, that was so funny.
We got Taika back.
Got Taika
he
back.
returned.
Mhm.
And then we also got what's
Kristen
her-
Shaw.
Yeah, Kristen Shaw's back. Yeah, I love that.
It looks is she like a regular? I mean, she was on the first 2 episodes now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It seems like
seems
they'll
like
have to
she's
deal with her a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire Council.
I'm really curious to see who that is behind the chained door.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be someone that like that has to be
Mhm.
like a cameo of some sort. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a super old vampire.
yeah. The second episode I thought was absolutely fucking hilarious too.
Everything with the gym.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
funny. And when they're all like, she doesn't like men. And you just think it's a joke. And at the very end of the episode, she's a lesbian. So fucking funny.
Now, was that an I couldn't tell. Like, at some point, I was like, okay, that's an
pretty sure that was
overdub, or was
Nandor.
that him?
I'm pretty
Or
sure
was
that was
that
the actor from Nandor
No,
doing
really?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was him doing impressions of them.
Holy shit!
Because it
that's
didn't
nuts.
sound like them at
there-
all.
Colin Robinson, I was like, he's definitely doing that. That is definitely impersonation. And then I think it was Guillermo, where I was like, that kind of sounds like him. But I mean,
Laszlo sounded like Eugene Levy.
yeah.
His impression of Laszlo. I'm pretty sure it was the Nandor's actor doing an impression of everyone.
Wow.
But obviously not Nadia at the end.
Yeah.
Because that was
Yeah.
100% her over. I'm pretty sure it was.
I was whenever they
It was
kept
so
when
funny.
they kept doing the like she doesn't like dudes. I kept thinking that at the end it was going to be Naja that ends up being the one that like actually like seduces her.
Yeah.
But it was good the way they did it.
Yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. I love that they brought Nadia doll back at least for an episode because I'd forgotten
Yeah.
about the Nadia doll, and I absolutely love that.
You don't get 2 votes. You're going to have the same opinion as her.
Oh man,
Nandor is so funny. All of them are just so funny. Matt Berry, like everything with like the with like, the pornography stuff, like it was like once he was talking about all the literature, you knew that like that's what it was going to be.
yeah. No, he does a wonderful job. I honestly think that like Nandor has shined though in these first 2 episodes. They
Mhm.
really
Yeah, definitely.
kind of put the spotlight on him for at least the first
Yeah,
couple episodes of this season.
Mhm.
yeah. No, I've always enjoyed him, but it's
Yeah.
like he seemed like he got a lot to like do that was really funny in these ones.
Yeah, I don't think they gave him quite as much in the first 2 seasons as now.
Yeah, no, it was very clear that Matt Berry was the star of the the funniest character
Yeah.
in the first 2 seasons. But yeah, they're getting a little bit closer at this point. And I think
sorry.
say what you were saying about
I was just
Colin.
say Colin Robinson has infinitely more to do now in these episodes than he has throughout the whole thing, which I don't know if I
Yeah.
love, honestly.
I don't like his new personality.
No,
I don't.
He's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he is an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he like gives no fucks now. Like he's
Yeah, I liked him as being just an ancillary character that showed up every now and again, and maybe he'd get one episode. Like the episode where he goes to the office is absolutely hilarious, where
Mhm.
he's draining everyone. But I liked him more as being not one of the main vampires.
Yeah, like him
Yeah.
trying to be in a meeting, but them not like wanting him to be there versus
Yeah.
him like actively being there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guillermo, I thought was very solid in these 2 episodes.
Yeah, he was.
He made me laugh a lot.
The
he's
when they were
just
trying to
such an
hypnotize
idiot.
him.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
hypnotized
no,
us.
He's
the
like,
hypnosis stuff was really funny.
Yeah.
That was some of the best stuff, and then what we were talking about with him being in the jail cell and breaking out,
Yeah, that was great.
ridiculous.
I was reading something about the actor who plays Colin Robinson. He's like petitioning to get Bob Newhart on the show as an energy vampire.
Oh man,
Which
That-
is perfect.
dude, what if you had? Oh man, if you had Bob Newhart as the one in the
Oh my god. Oh,
that
and
would be
the
incredible.
original
he's been all over
vampires and
social
energy
media.
vampire.
Yeah,
That would be hilarious.
that would be good.
'Cause
And it was
he's-
interesting him encountering another energy vampire.
I fucking
Yeah.
hated those hipsters so much. I was so glad when she ripped his heart out.
It was a very strong first 2 episodes for
that-
sure.
That whole interaction, I just kept telling Callie, like, I really hope one of them dies. Like, I really hope they kill one of these fuckers.
And the good thing is we have another episode tomorrow.
Yeah,
It
Yeah,
goes
that's
by
exciting.
so fast.
What is there? 10 total? 12?
Yeah, I think it's usually 10, and it's going back down to one a week starting this week.
Yeah, it was a welcome surprise when we popped in. We watched it, I think Tuesday, so yesterday, and we saw that there was 2. We were pretty happy about that.
Mhm.
Unrelated, did anyone watch the final 2 Rick and Morty's yet?
No,
Yeah, neither did I.
shit's dead to me.
I have not.
If someone comes back and says
I've heard they like
groundbreaking,
were great. Yeah,
You heard
I
they-
heard it was more of the same.
Great. All right, so something not to look forward to,
Oh,
but I'll
boy.
watch anyway. All right.
Yeah. Did they like take a couple weeks off and then just drop the last two, or it felt like
Yes.
the timing was weird? Okay.
Yeah, they took
that's
a
why I haven't
couple
seen
weeks
them.
off.
What are they?
I guess
us?
I don't know if the yeah, right. I don't know if the episodes weren't finished yet or what the issue was. But yeah, I was wondering
that
like
threw me off.
if we wanted to do like once we watch it, do like an end of season recap, but I don't think we even really need to. We've made our point clear on the show at this point.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be a lot of shitting on Rick and Morty.
Yeah. So we just won't do that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something that we've mostly been positive about this season, and that's Ted Lasso. So we've got episodes 6 and 7. These are the two dealing with Ted's. Wait, Corey, are you caught up now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow!
That's
Oh,
wild.
we can.
I was gonna
wow.
say I was trying to get your attention. Yeah. No, I'm all
all right.
caught up.
We got 4 people to talk about Ted Lasso now.
That's wild.
Yeah, we had the 2 episodes dealing with Ted's panic attacks, and like the one with him having it, and then the one with the aftermath. We talked about how low stakes the season has been so far, and it's been mostly just fun, with the only real exception being the one episode that dealt with Sam's opposition to their sponsors. But these last ones have dealt with Ted dealing with like a serious panic attack and how he has issues that he's not dealing with and how it's starting to really affect him. And then we also have
Sam's trying
what's
to
it-
bang Rebecca.
oh, we have Sam, yeah, but that's mostly been chill so far. Well, what's his face? Nate.
Roy and
No, Nate. We have the Nate of it all,
Yeah,
Mm.
fucking Nate.
I
man.
hate him even
Who-
more now.
who his Corey was. We have to give Corey props for noticing that Nate was clearly fucked up from the start, because he is being a dick.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if
Like,
he's fucked
He's
up
gonna
from
have
the
a
start.
redemption arc, though.
Yeah, he's just letting it get to his
Corey said there was something off about him.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he made him uncomfortable from the start, and now he's really like being an asshole. Like this last episode, I'm really excited to see what comes in the next like couple.
Want that
weeks.
ball boy to beat him up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that because
What's his name?
did,
That ending.
he did the thing where he
Yeah.
makes up with them, and I forgot about that. He reads one bad tweet and goes and shits on the ball boy guy.
He just
Yeah.
freaks out.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's been off. That Holiday Inn painting type speech that he gives to what was it, Colin? Is that the name of the player on the
Yeah, I think
team?
it's Colin.
Something like that. Yeah. Like that was fucked up, and then Beard like calling him out on it was a good thing.
That was so funny.
Because they've kind of let all his shit slide all season. Like Kim and Ted will like notice something's wrong, or like he's being all weird or being kind of a dick, but then they won't say anything. This was like the first time it was actually dealt with.
Yeah.
But then yeah, like I don't know, he's got serious insecurity and like I don't know, what are some of the other words you'd use to describe him?
it all stems from his asshole parents who are
Mm,
they don't
yeah.
give a shit about anything he does.
He's incredibly insecure,
Yeah,
and I guess he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to lose
He has
what
an
the little bit that he has.
inferiority complex.
Yeah.
Got that.
Yeah, and especially now where he's like the Wonder Kid, is that what they're calling him? And like he's being built up, and like for the first time in his life, and he doesn't want to lose that.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's trying to hold the other people back that like are in his previous shoes. Like he should be super nice to the kid who was
It's
like
relatable.
yeah,
to
who's
him.
in his position, but instead he's just like keeping him down, and
Yeah.
it sucks. I mean, it's something that I haven't really seen like a TV show do, which has been interesting to watch.
Hmm.
JP, I know you're not someone who typically is looking for like
No.
crazy stories out of
I
this
don't want
show. What
drama in my Ted Lasso.
yeah, so like, what have you been thinking about the stuff both with Nate and with Ted?
I keep waiting for it to fucking end so we can get back to the wholesomeness.
Didn't we also have Keely and Roy there like
Yeah,
one episode?
But that was like
There.
typical Ted drama Lasso. It was great. It
I
lasted
suppose.
for
Just really
Yeah,
half an
that wasn't
episode.
I
really
like
anything.
that a lot. I
It
really
ended
like
in the
that.
funniest way.
It wasn't even the
Yeah.
whole episode. It
No.
didn't.
No.
Like, Roy didn't even realize it was a thing until practically 20
Well,
minutes into the
I
episode.
just liked how they did it. Like it was like a good balance of it being like dramatic and also being funny.
Yeah, I love
specifically.
when Jamie Tartt's talking and he's just sitting there,
Yeah.
fuck, and he just walks away.
It's like when the worst person you know gives you like good advice.
Yeah, and then they're like all smoking in the boot room, and he just walks in. You talking about me? They said, yeah. He's and he just doesn't give a shit.
Are you jazz scatting? Why are you jazz scatting?
That was weird. I didn't understand that. That made me a little uncomfortable.
But I think other than like the Nate stuff, I think the highlights of the last episode were everything with Ted and the therapist, whose name is also escaping me right now.
Doc.
Yeah, with Doc. Those 3 scenes like were all very different and all very good in their own way.
Yeah, they were a
Now,
little
the first-
funny too.
Yeah.
The first one starts out being goofy with Ted trying to find his seating position. And then he sort of runs out before anything gets crazy. And then the second one is where he really, like, Jason Sudeikis plays the character completely different than we've ever seen him before, and is just like going in on this woman and her profession. And then the last one is where he has to be like more apologetic and kind of becomes open to the entire idea of therapy. And I thought she did.
Actually
She
kind
did
of
a very good
impressed.
job.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say I was kind of impressed with the way like Sudeikis acted those scenes. He did much better job than I think I gave him credit for.
Yeah, I agree with you, Doug.
But he played all those scenes really well, and like I thought to myself, I was like kind of surprised, like to the point where I thought to myself, like, oh wow, Sudeikis can act.
Yeah, I mean, Ted's not just this goofy,
Yeah.
nice guy. Like he's putting up a front for like his own like issues that he's not dealing with.
Yeah, it was a
which
very
is interesting.
human. It was a very human way to do it. Like especially with him apologizing after the fact.
Yeah.
It was. I'd like that. The way they
Yeah,
did it.
is Sharon? Dr. Sharon? Is that it?
It might be Dr. Sharon.
I think it is.
Sounds right.
And then the previous episode, I like the fact that they had as much soccer or football as it did.
Yeah.
Because they really haven't had much of that this season in comparison to season 1.
No.
But they spent a lot of time on that game.
Was that the middle finger one?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I like Jamie gets to be Jamie, and there's some at least compelling sports in it to a degree.
Mhm.
I think the only other time they actually had soccer was when Danny murdered that dog, right?
Yeah, the season premiere.
Yeah.
Otherwise they really haven't. And when Roy came into the stadium.
pitch there, yeah.
But it was really like this episode had more than the rest of the season combined.
Yes.
That episode. So that was cool.
I want more Led Tasso.
Oh,
I
God.
don't. I thought it was like too over the top.
That was weird.
It's amusing, but like I don't know.
It was
Once was good.
It was
Once
kind
good
of
enough for me.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
just
like a
snaps
Jekyll and
into a
Hyde
trance
moment.
I was.
or like maybe he could get into that like fugue state where he's all fucked up like that, but like the way he acts is still too much Ted. Like if he was really going into Led Tasso, he would act like a dick like he did to Dr. Sharon.
Yeah.
And he still acts too goofy, and that's why like I think like I wasn't really like into it.
What did we learn from Breaking Bad? Fugue states are bullshit.
Yeah, right. A fugue state is when you don't want to get caught for committing crimes.
Damn right.
So you pretend that you were walking around naked into convenience stores. And then Sam and Rebecca. I guess that would be the other storyline that we haven't talked about. Like we found out that they are they've been chatting. They bump into each other in the hallways, but they're still not. They still do not know that they're talking to each other yet.
Pulled the rug out from under my feet because I was hoping and praying that it would be Ted and thought it was.
Banter.
That's not going to work out. Sam and Rebecca, that's not going to work out. That's going to be weird, and Sam's going to get kicked off the show.
A player and an owner, like a 30-year age gap, and Yeah, I don't see
Yeah,
that
it's weird.
working out either. But it was surprising because I think all four of us probably thought it was Ted.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few of us
They
had
made
discussed it
it
on
seem
this.
like
I
it was
definitely
Ted.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
They'd show
Um,
her on his phone. They show him on his phone. They like try to imply heavily it was Ted, and the Sam thing I felt was just like, haha, I gotcha.
Quite a
Yeah,
twist.
for like gotcha sake, almost it seems like.
Yeah.
exactly. Well, we'll see how it plays out. I think we have 3 episodes to go. Uh, as far as I know, like critics and stuff have seen 8 and 9, and have said it's like very like like plot heavy, dealing with what we've been dealing with. I think for the past couple episodes. Um, but from what I've been hearing, it's satisfying. So, so yeah, we'll talk more about it on our next episode. But now we can get to the MCU portion of the show. On our next one, we will talk about What If. We'll do sort of a mid-season recap since I believe episode 5 aired today of 9.
It did.
Oh boy,
From
I
what
get to I get to binge that. I heard it's
Yeah.
so great to watch, and it's just like a
Still
treat.
Well,
still haven't
from-
watched an episode.
The zombie one, which probably looked the coolest from pre-release stuff, is the one that aired today. I haven't seen it yet.
It was neat.
Doug, you watch it? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had time after I finished The Crow and before this started, so I was like, I'll just watch What If.
Okay. Yay or
Yeah,
nay? Okay.
It wasn't bad. Yeah, it was not amazing, but it was fun enough.
Cool. All right. Well, we will talk more about that show the next one, which probably will be next week.
Yeah, I'll try to catch up completely by then.
Cool.
See if I can.
Okay. You just gave a Tommy Wiseau laugh.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. JP, you haven't seen it yet, right?
I have not.
Okay.
I don't
It's
give
your
a shit.
choice.
I don't give a shit if
Oh.
you spoil it for me. I really don't care.
Alrighty. Well, let's go spoilers then.
All right, hold on.
We're going straight spoilers, or should we
Well,
just?
spoilers
we can start non-spoilers and then say when we're gonna get to spoilers.
Because there are other people that probably care. Out
Yeah.
there.
All right, let's give overall thoughts then. Doug, you want to start?
Yeah, I thought it was. I liked it. I definitely liked it. I thought it was good, not great. The first half of the movie I thought was much stronger than the second half of the movie. I think the second half of the movie gets bogged down with plot and just going CGI crazy. But it was still good. I thought Aquafina was fun in it. She was like the perfect level of Aquafina. It wasn't obnoxious, which I was happy about. All the acting was great. Yeah, I thought it was. I'd probably like. I don't think we do rating scales here, but I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. So
Okay.
solid B.
Cord?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I agree with Doug. The second half of the film definitely got bogged down a little bit. I kind of don't know how it could with how the first half of the movie went, because it was just nonstop. And I know, like, well, the second half had homages too, but the first half was so like chock full of like homages from like Jackie Chan movies and like all these different martial arts movies over the
good.
past like 40, 50 years. I mean, there's so many Easter eggs that, you would probably be able to point out. And, the action was just nonstop. So like once it gets to that point where you start to get more of the story, it's kind of a little bit of a shock, but I did like it. It's probably one of my favorite MCU origin stories, I would say. I know nothing about Shang-Chi, or very little, and I really ended up liking him and all the characters that were in it. The villain too. I thought that he was pretty complex. Like, I was shocked at how complex of a character he was, and I really liked it. Probably my least favorite thing was the last. It was fun, but it just felt like a different movie. Was like the last like half hour, like where things got like really nuts.
Yeah.
Not to say that I didn't enjoy it. I did. It was just that it kind of went off the rails a little bit. But I still did enjoy it, and I thought it definitely stuck the landing, which I was worried about like as it was getting into that last act. But I thought it stuck the landing very well. So I'd probably give it like a 9, 8.59, if we had a grading score.
All right, and then I'll get right to my rating score. I would have went 8 out of 10 since I gave it 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Ultimately, I thought it was their best solo origin story since Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 still being better. But yeah, as far as an origin story, it was very entertaining. I like the way that they told the story. They kind of put you in the shoes of Aquafina, where the character already had their origin story. She's been friends with this guy for like 10 years now, and yet she doesn't even know his backstory, and you find it as the movie goes along.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a cool way of
Yep.
doing it. I thought him and Aquafina. How do you pronounce his name?
Simu Liu, I
Is it
think.
Simu Liu or Simu? Yeah, Simu
I think
Liu.
it's
I
Simu
think
Liu.
it was like Simalu.
Simu
I don't
Liu.
know.
It's Simu.
Yeah.
I couldn't find like a way to pronounce it online, but I thought him and Aquafina had great chemistry. Like it was super like you could really buy into the fact that those two characters were really good friends. They were very fun. He's going to fit in perfectly with the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You can tell that just from like by post credits and just the way he interacted with people that were already in the universe throughout the film. We won't say exactly who until we go into spoilers. The marketing was interesting for this one in the fact they held so much back that I wasn't even looking forward to it. But it was also cool in the fact that they held so much back because I went in and saw so much that I was not expecting. So the fact that like I think it's going to have killer word of mouth for this reason. So the fact that it opened as strong as it did, that's a testament to the Marvel brand. But I think it's going to have really long legs because people are like, "Damn, this was not the movie that I was expecting. It's a lot cooler than what I was expecting."
Yeah.
And we'll get into the whole third act type thing that really is not shown at all in any of the marketing.
No.
And the movie really kicks off into high gear like right away. Like that bus scene that's
It's
in the
nuts.
trailers was fucking awesome. And it's
That was even better than I like thought it would be from the trailers.
Way
Like, it was
better.
so good.
Yeah, the way they cut it, it was so subdued compared to what it
they
was.
show you like everything, like nothing's like disjointed where you're trying to figure out like where all the characters are and stuff like that. It's very clear what's like the geography of where the characters are, and the choreography is just very strong. It's the best bus fight scene this year since Nobody.
Yeah.
Those two both did it very well in very different ways.
Yeah.
Nobody being incredibly brutal and this one being incredibly stylized and well choreographed.
I love the bus scene just because it's like, I guess going back to like Corey with comparing it to Jackie Chan stuff, like he's using the bus as a way to like get around and combat these other people that are on the bus. And I love the way he like uses everything on the bus to fight, and
Yeah.
he grabs like objects and his jacket is used and like just different things. It's super cool.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah, like that was when I was like, all right, I'm all in on this movie. Like the first 5 minutes is kind of going over like a prologue, going through like the lore. First 5-7 minutes, and then it gets right into the fact that like Shang-Chi's or Sean is kind of like just a loser, not really doing much with his life. Like, and it just like gets really fun with him and Katie, and then it goes right into the bus scene. And I was all in by like 15, like I guess 10 minutes into the movie. because it goes so quickly into the action. Unlike other origin stories where it takes a while to build up into that. Because this character already has had his origin story before the movie begins, which is cool.
There was a fight scene before the bus scene that I think got me into it more, but I don't think they showed it in the trailer. So can we talk about that in the spoiler?
Well, I mean, it's at the very beginning of the movie, so I wouldn't really
yeah,
spoil
okay,
the spoiler.
Tony Long.
The fight scene between the mother and father.
Okay,
where it's done like
Crouching Tiger,
Hidden Dragon,
House of Flying Daggers. Yeah.
I thought that was super cool. I didn't expect to see that type of fighting in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And so like seeing that out, like kind of for me, I was like, that's kind of where I was all in, because I'm like, oh shit, they're like actually taking from other fighting movies, and they're actually embracing this. It's not just going to be like a straight Marvel movie.
Yeah, I need to see the opening scene again, because we had people that came into the movie theater like right when the movie was starting. And they were fidgeting around with their with the chair, not fucking smart enough to figure out how it reclines for like so goddamn long, and it's really distracting me. And also the first time I've had someone sit directly next to me that I didn't know in a movie theater since 2020 or beginning of 2020, I would guess. But that brings up the whole point that we were talking about in our text chain this week about the lights and the trailers. But I think they came in like right after the trailers ended, so it made sense that the lights were completely off.
I mean, the chairs aren't that hard to figure out.
You would think.
Yeah.
It's two buttons, and then
yeah, it's like one goes one way, one goes the other way.
Unless you're at Cinemark and you accidentally put the heater button on, and it's
it
was 97 degrees.
AMC's have those heater buttons too, but they like hide them to the side, so it's harder to like find them.
I mean, who wants a hot seat at a movie theater?
Maybe if it's you just walked in from the cold for like the first 10 minutes,
I guess,
but I don't think it's really necessary.
Probably not.
JP, as someone who hasn't seen it, who's somebody who doesn't have much interest in seeing it, do you have any questions about this film?
Does it completely break it that the 10 rings are in fact fucking bracelets? Does that ruin the movie for you?
No. I mean, they're still rings, technically.
They're like Sonic rings.
Yeah. I know what I get what you're
bracelets.
Saying. They actually, the way that they
were cooler than I thought they would be.
Yeah, exactly. The way that they ended up using them, especially like, again in the trailer, like the way that they show it in the trailer, it seems like hokey and like silly. The way that they actually use them in the movie throughout it is actually like really cool.
Yeah,
like there's some cool things to it, cool elements. So I liked it in the end, but I was skeptical.
That's neat. I mean, I think my only concern would be how he fits in with the rest of the Marvel team. I think going forward, any of these people that they introduce, I'd just be concerned how they will fit in the grand scheme of the universe. But honestly, I think I'm just fucking Marvel fatigued out. Like it's
been a lot of content this year.
Yeah, I think it was Sunday. We were sitting around and it was rainy out, and my wife was like, it'd be a great day to go to the movie theater. Too bad nothing's out. I said, we'll go see Shang-Chi. She goes, nah, I'm good. It's just like after Black Widow, I think I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a little break on these Marvel movies for a bit, just because there's a lot going on.
Yeah. I felt that way too after Black Widow, but I think this movie's different enough. I thought to myself after or in the middle of this movie, I'm really glad I saw Black Widow at home and chose to see this one in theaters, just because it was a lot more enjoyable, and I thought it had a lot more to it than Black Widow.
Yeah.
So I think this one's worth giving a shot and does enough. It's still Marvel. It still kind of follows the formula a bit, but it mixes it up enough that it's not Black Widow where you're just like you feel like you're going through the motions. It does enough stuff that's new
Yeah.
or feels fresh.
Well, that's good. I mean, how is the villain? How is the Mandarin in it? Because I'm assuming he's the Mandarin, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
No,
he's
mean-
good, right?
he's not the Mandarin.
No, he's not the Mandarin.
no. Okay, I thought he
well,
was the
he's
Mandarin.
he is and he isn't.
He is. And
Yeah.
he isn't. But he is.
He is
but
and
he's
he
not.
isn't.
He's the leader of the Ten
Yeah, I
Rings.
mean, he's like
Which I thought was the Mandarin.
Yeah.
the Mandarin. They basically are well.
I've
Can we
had
get to the spoiler
spoilers up
part?
for a bit now.
Can we get
so.
all right? So we can get the spoilers.
all right,
Mandarin-
spoilers. If you don't want to hear anything, close your ears. Murph will fire off a flare when we're done talking about spoilers.
I'll try, I guess.
Is there JP? Can you put up the spoilers?
Oh, it's up,
tag on
Doug. It's
Twitch?
up. It's been up for like 5 minutes now. You guys
Oh.
started talking about something.
Alright,
I was
cool.
like, okay, we'll throw a little spoiler on there.
Yeah, he basically the leader of the Ten Rings. His dad basically just says the Mandarin was like a bullshit thing created by Guy
Trevor.
Pearce's character and Trevor Slattery, who has a huge role in this film.
Oh wow.
Which they did not show at all in the trailers, which was cool. Expected a cameo, but he was basically in the entire second half of the film.
Sweet.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, and he is very funny throughout. No surprise. But yeah, they basically I guess they kind of apologize for the entire idea of the Mandarin character in the comics and stuff like that via this movie and what they did with Iron Man 3.
But the idea of the character, the idea of the Mandarin, that character is still intact, just not called the Mandarin.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How was
his character is basically since we're going straight into spoilers, but his character has been around for 1,000 years and has been called by a bunch of different names, and so he doesn't really have a title that's like the Mandarin. He's I've been called a bunch of different things over 1,000 years, and they use kind of my identity as a way to create this boogeyman. That's the concept of the Mandarin, but I've never gone by the Mandarin.
Gotcha.
He's the Mandarin's a Chinese dish of food, chicken or something like that. He's it's not me. But yeah, basically his characters the Ra's al Ghul and the Ten Rings or the League of Shadows. They're responsible for so many collapses and history and things like that. So it's interesting.
That's cool. Is there a lovely gray CGI battle at the end of this movie?
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
so they're still going strong.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, they are, but they go very Lord of the Rings with this type of battle scene. There's dragons and shit, and it's not ones that we've seen before. I mean, it's still a fucking CGI battle.
Yeah.
But it's a little different just because it's got the personal angle between what's going on with Shang-Chi and his dad. Shang-Chi's dad's reasoning for what he's doing is very personal and has a lot to do with manipulation and things like that. So he's a conflicted type of bad guy. By the time it gets to the present day stuff in this movie, he was a huge dick in the past, but then he marries Shang-Chi's mom and then he reforms. She dies. He gets dickish again, and then we get into where we are in this movie.
Yeah.
But he's not a full evil monster. There's reasonings, some complexities involved with why he's doing what he's doing.
Oversympathetic
about family.
villains. It's so hot right now. It's so hot right now. That's cool. So confirmed dragons in the MCU then.
Oh yeah.
Can we expect to see more dragons?
Yeah, I would
There
say
was there's some theory that potentially, based on one of the post-scene credits, that they're going to go to the Dragon World. I was like, I hope they don't do that. I was like, I don't think so. I don't think Marvel's that dumb to be like,
Or
let's go
Iron
to
Fist.
Dragon World. I forgot the name of the Dragon World, but it's like fucking
It's Dragon World. It's just Dragon World.
well, that's the thing with. I
something
mean, I know
stupid and,
nothing.
like,
I know nothing about this character, but I mean, there's like a lot of like fantasy mythology to it. So I don't know, unless they just completely use him, just as like a new Avenger. I imagine he's gonna get another movie, but I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they set him up to be an Avenger. The Welcome to the
Yeah.
Circus. He's dealing with fucking Bruce and Carol, and Wong, like in the post credits, and
Mhm.
Wong in the movie.
How's Wong?
But yes,
that was a long ass.
He's
Yeah,
good.
I
mid-credit
know.
scene.
I
Yeah,
know.
It was,
so
it was actually very
long.
long.
That was like the longest one they've ever did.
Yeah, I
I've
think
never
so.
seen one that long. I was like, holy shit, this is going on for like a really long time.
It was like
Yeah.
3 or 4 minutes.
Well, you got to set up Dragon World. I mean, it takes a while.
Shang-Chi 2 Dragon World.
Yo, fucking book that title now, because if you don't name it Dragon World, no one's gonna come see it. That's cool. How was other Benedict? How was Wong in this one?
Wong's
He
good.
was,
Yeah.
he was solid, yeah.
He has his
Good.
fight.
He was
his
barely
fight
in
with
it, though.
He has his fight with Abomination. He shows up a couple times in the movie.
Was he like, oh, I left Doctor Strange because he's acting like Mephisto?
I read something online then that I was like, wow, that's actually completely true. Wong was like the new Coulson, like in this movie. Like that's how his character was like. He acted as like that type of plot device.
He collected
Yeah.
trading cards.
Yeah, I mean,
tap cards.
Did he design Shang-Chi's outfit?
he did not.
Then he's no Coulson.
Maclu
That's cool.
So the Dragon World is called Maclu 4.
Maclu 4?
4.
Maclu 4?
And that's where the dragons are from, including. I'm assuming they didn't want to use this dragon's name because it sounds pretty bad. But the dragon's name is Fing Fang Foom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
No. I highly doubt that was a historical name of a dragon. I think that was
I
just someone
imagine they will
eating lunch.
They will rename that one.
I like Dragon World better. I don't know about that. I don't know about you guys, but
Sounds like a Coheed and Cambria
what
album title.
So the thing that got me with this movie was between the first two trailers, they go from those really over stylized, beautiful looking fights to just generic horse shit. Were there really good, just those kung fu-y fucking Kill Bill style fights in this?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. More than I expected.
That'd be a shame.
No, there's a lot of
Yeah.
them.
And they're done like
And done in
really
cool
well.
ways, like off the side of a skyscraper, dealing with like having to stay on like bamboo, fucking
Like scaffolding.
scaffolding,
yeah.
There's cool stuff like that. The scene we mentioned with the bus is very kung fu like.
Cool.
Really, all the fights between main characters, because they're all pros in what they're doing. Like you're not seeing fucking Aquafina getting in a fight or anything like that. So you're really dealing with people that have all mastered like martial arts during their like 10 rings training.
Gotcha.
And Michelle Yeoh, I should mention, she was in it. So I think she was the first actress to play two different characters in the MCU now. Since she was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but for like a hot second. She was really good as their uncle, Shang-Chi, and his sister's uncle. Trying to think if there's anything else of note about this film.
Yeah, I think we covered most of it. Yeah. Definitely something I would say, JP.
How was
at
Tim
some
Roth?
point.
Yeah, I probably won't be seeing this in theaters just because I don't see myself getting out to theaters. In the
Yeah,
next
no. Whenever
month.
it's on VOD.
But yeah,
definitely check
I
it
will
out.
Probably watch it when it comes on the TV.
Tim Roth not actually in it. Just
yeah,
the
Abomination.
CGI.
Ah, that's a
it? Yeah.
damn shame.
I know.
Holding him for She-Hulk.
He's okay. Good. He's at least he's actually going to be in that.
Yeah.
How's the new design? Because I heard they updated the way he looks a little bit.
He's got like flappy like
Dude,
bat ears.
Apparently, he's supposed to have those like
I don't. Yeah,
flappy
he might.
Aquaman ears.
I don't think I would have known it was him if I wasn't told ahead of time.
Oh,
that
yeah?
was him.
Is it
Yeah.
that different?
I think
He
it
does
looks pretty
look
different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 13 years of improvements in CGI. He does look very different. They never say his name or anything like that.
Oh, really?
He
So,
looks
yeah.
a lot better, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's more interesting looking.
He's like grayish. Like they changed like the tone of his skin and stuff. But yeah.
Cool.
And like his relationship with Wong is strange, so like I wouldn't have realized known it was like the same guy who was fucking destroying Harlem.
Are they
in
like
The Incredible
friends?
Hulk. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
kind of like hustling people, I believe.
Huh.
Yeah, they seemed like they were friends. They were like he was like talking about pulling punches and stuff.
Wow.
and like they leave the fight together and go through a portal. Like it was strange. So I'm interested in what his story is when they get to She-Hulk.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that.
What
So
about-
the post credits? We talked about
We talked about the mid
the
credits.
first one,
Yep.
and that's where they're trying to figure out the rings. Apparently, are sending out like a signal somewhere.
Yeah, a beacon.
Ah, more space beacons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess
Yeah.
Doug
Like
thinks it's
Colin
going
or
to the
Captain
Dragon
Marvel
World.
or something. It's definitely not going to be the Dragon World. I don't
Contact
know who the hell
Dragon
it's
World.
calling out to.
Dude, they have no problem doing
Um,
weird shit now in the MCU. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to a Dragon World by Phase 5.
Yeah, I feel like they're just saying fuck it at this point. They're like, we've made an infinite amount of money for
Like,
lifetimes. Let's just
peop-
do really weird shit.
People are gonna see what we do. Like we can take risks.
They're just out to insult us. They're like, let's make some really horrible movies, and people will throw money at us for it.
I mean, Avatar exists.
Oh, we didn't.
That's true.
Avatar is great.
There's
We
your
didn't talk
Dragon
about
World, kinda.
what the fuck is the. So Trevor Slattery has like a fucking toy that Disney's trying to sell.
Oh my god, yeah. What's his name?
What was his name?
Milton Miles?
No.
No.
Milton is Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It might have been
Maurice?
was it Miles?
Morris. It's Morris.
Morris. I was close. Yeah, Morris. It's like this little, like,
But
fucking creature.
Fluffball.
Yeah, with no face and wings.
All right.
Named Morris.
Okay.
And the only person that can understand him is Trevor Slattery.
All right. You know,
He's
this
like-
reminds me of a fucking porg, and I hate it so much.
You
It's
like
kinda
talk to him
similar.
and- it is actually kind of similar.
You can
It's-
go to the Disney store and buy a fucking Morris if you want.
But
they exist.
Their relationship is similar to like Han Solo and Chewbacca, where Han Solo can understand him. Well, a lot of characters can in Star Wars, but like specifically that relationship. Except
I
a
like
lot funnier.
overthought it a little bit when they were talking because I was like, how did he learn how to understand this thing? Just like
he's done so many drugs.
he didn't think it was real.
He's like,
okay, he's like, thank God you can see him.
You can see him. I'm so relieved.
That's funny.
Oh, Ben Kingsley's
Oh,
a
man,
treasure.
fucking Boris.
yeah, they really played out like he's gonna have like this one scene, and then he goes with them, and I'm like, holy shit! Like he's just gonna continue being in this movie, and it just never ends.
That sounds like an absolute treat.
Yeah. Easily the funniest character. But yeah, 10 Rings are eventually going to return. Shang-Chi will return. I'm happy about both of those things. It'll be interesting to see how the relationship between him and his sister plays out, because looks like she's taken over the 10 Rings when he believed that she was shutting it down. So that was the post credits, and interesting twist in the movie.
Sweet.
How is Disney going to sell this Morris toy? I just pulled it up now, and it's like There's literally no head. It's just like a fucking.
Dude, it's
fluff.
at the Disney
Dog.
store already. You just go to the Disney store and boom, there you go. It's just got a big seam across the front of it. Shop Disney.
It just has got like.
Wait, they
It
already
looks like
have
someone took a dog, cut off
It
the
is
head.
$40.
up.
It is $39.99 for a 9-inch faceless puff with
more.
6 legs and 2 wings. The wings move, by the way, when you press its foot.
It has feet.
It has 6 legs.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I mean, they're pretty prominent, dude. It doesn't have a face. What are you looking at?
It didn't look like it had feet because it was all fluff
Dude,
and wings.
This shit's everywhere. 8-inch plush on Target.
More
$9.99.
new.
The wings do
Disney's
not move.
gotta make their money.
This is the
That they
easiest
do.
bit of marketing they've ever done.
Yeah, they really didn't even try. Don't even have to do any sort of facial expressions.
It's all
Kinda
because
ridiculous,
it's all
but-
because of Ben Kingsley. He sold it.
Ben Kingsley's probably got some sort of stock in that stuffed animal. And he's like, I'll only come back if you let me sell my fucking stuffed animal through your movie. They're like, give us 5% of whatever insane bounty we get on this, and you're good. He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." He's like, I'm not in it for the money. I just want to see how many of these things these losers buy.
Yeah, right. Okay, I think that's it for Shang-Chi then. We'll talk about What If next week, do our mid-season report, and then we've got Eternals in the beginning of November.
Go out and buy a Morris plush and show it to us next week when we're talking. Only Morris plushes in the chat.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
Please do that.
We're not going to buy one, but send us yours.
All right, let's we'll remove the spoiler stuff. We'll take a brief minute off, and then we will go to our feature presentation.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna grab a refill, and then we'll just jump into The Crow.
Alrighty. Where is the...
I'm gonna get something too.
I think everyone in chat fell asleep. What's up, chat? Dirk, you alive? You chilling? Kate still there? Everyone, it seems like everyone left. Dirk's there. Do you see
It's kind of weird
Shang-Chi
without
there?
the.
Without what?
It's kind of weird without the movies
Yeah.
at the end. Now that we caught up to 2020.
I thought for sure we was going to get to bed before midnight tonight, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, we started so late.
I'm so tired. Jason Takes Manhattan was on today. Derek, is that the one where he punches a guy's head off? Classic. Oh, that's got to be one of the better Jason murders, just punching some dude's head off. Ooh, X-Men. I heard a rumor that I forgot what fucking movie it is, but they were going to introduce Xavier in one of the newer Marvel movies coming out. I don't know.
I wonder who they're going to
to
cast for Xavier. That's kind of a tough one.
Yeah. Oh, Multiverse of Madness. That's what I heard.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. That
Yeah,
rumor.
that'd be pretty wild. I mean, it's gotta be, right? Like, mutants have to be variants at this point.
Who is our most famous bald actor at this time? That's
The
age
Rock.
appropriate.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Is Xavier? Is he always British? Is that
Yeah,
like canon in the comics?
Yeah.
pretty sure. You know what I learned today or yesterday that's mind blowing is that Blade is British in the comics.
I did not know that.
And I was like, no, Blade is Wesley Snipes, you bastards. That's what he is. Everyone's like bitching and moaning about, oh, Blade, they're not gonna make Blade British. Like, why would they make Blade British? It's an American company pumping out movies to American people. Like,
There was a trending topic on Twitter the other night about how X-Men and Spider-Man, like without them there wouldn't be like the MCU or everything. And then everyone was like, that is Blade erasure. Like if it wasn't for Blade, none of this shit would have happened.
hell yeah.
That was the first successful Marvel.
Dude,
That was the first successful Marvel movie. There were
Blade's
two
so
successful ones
fucking
for
good.
Spider-Man.
Oh, dude, you know who's bald? The Tooch. Stanley
Yeah.
Tooch. He had cancer
I saw that.
3 years ago and said nothing to anyone, just killed it like a goddamn champ.
Yeah,
He
he
was like,
was like
"Fucking
eating out of
Tooch."
like feeding tubes and shit, right? Or something like
I
that.
didn't read that, but that's fucking
Yeah.
wild. Tooch is an animal. The whole world.
Yeah,
could love
that's
you,
crazy.
Tooch. Yeah, I'm just looking at famous bald actors, and Tucci's up there.
I'm gonna say Corey Stoll, but he's already been an Ant-Man.
Oh, dude, how about Jason Statham? He's
I
British.
thought about him. That's kind of weird.
That'd be horrible.
I wouldn't be able to take it remotely serious.
No.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What about Mark Strong?
Oh, dude, Mark Strong could be fucking anyone. I don't care.
I think I could get behind that.
Between Tooch and Mark Strong, I'm like all about either one of them.
Well, Tooch has been in the MCU.
Yeah, but he can be someone else.
He was a smaller, and he didn't look like himself, somewhat. He would definitely look different.
Yeah. Mark Strong would be solid. He can do British. Is he British? He's probably British.
He's got to be.
I thought he was British.
He could be British.
He's either he does a decent British accent. Cause wasn't he British in Kingsman?
He was indeed.
Yeah.
He is from London.
Yeah, he's British.
Yeah, Mark Strong would be a fucking solid Xavier.
Yeah.
Kind of a badass Xavier, though. I don't know.
He would be.
Too badass.
Yeah, even
I mean,
his
he's
face
less
is just
badass
like,
than Statham.
yeah. Fucking. I mean,
He's kind of got that Patrick Stewart vibes to me, like a young Patrick Stewart.
yeah, a little bit. I guess they don't really have to be bald because McAvoy was pretty good. He
Yeah.
shaved his head for a movie.
Yeah.
I feel like Mark Strong plays a better villain than he does a hero, though.
Well, Xavier is kind of like a little bit of a villain.
Oh, shut up, Doug. Get out of here with your Magneto sympathizing ass.
This
He's
guy
not a good.
is full of jokes.
Xavier's not a good person.
We know where your allegiances lie.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Dude, fucking X-Men, man.
What about him?
You remember the X-Men, Corey?
Do you remember?
I do.
A lot of films.
Remember
Were you
Patrick
talking about
Stewart?
bald actors? Bald actors? What? Bald actors that are going to
Because
play Xavier?
There's a rumor out
Okay.
there that Professor Xavier might be in Doctor Strange Dose.
Mm.
Multiverse of Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Or Doctor Strange 2 doesn't actually exist. Just like Spider-Man No Way Home doesn't exist. Let's talk about a movie that does exist, though. That's The Crow.
Let's do it. Feature presentation time.
Yee.
Live Breathe Film Club #2.
Number
The
2.
Crow. 1994. Directed by Alex Pross. JP, this was your selection
This was my selection. I flipped
for
this.
winning. What was this for? What did you win?
I picked all the
Suicide
people that were going to be
Squad
murdered in
Suicide
Suicide Squad.
Yes, you did.
I see murders, guys.
So you picked an R-rated bloodbath type movie.
I did.
Similar to the Suicide Squad. One of the original comic book movies. So
Yeah. And
or superhero movie. Was this comic book or was it just super?
it was
It's a
movie.
comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Yeah, go.
I don't know. I'd never seen this movie before. I'd always been adjacent to this movie because it's something like my brother would watch back in the day. He was always into those like grungy ass early '90s comics like this, and just like one of those like Timmy the Homicidal Maniac or some shit like that, or it's just a bunch of black and white on a panel, and it just looked like ass. But so I had seen bits and pieces of this movie, and I never really knew anything about it. So watching this was a kick. Just general impressions. What do you guys think of this?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I've seen it before, but I enjoyed this movie. I think it flows pretty well for the most part. Visually, it's beautiful. I love the sets.
Yeah.
I like the vibe. I know we spoke about this, but because the same director of Dark City, so that, even though this came out 4 years before Dark City, you could definitely see, where the director's coming from. He's very good at, the environmental like aesthetics and like really kind of just building a world. The world was like a character in itself in that movie. And it was very good. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Brandon Lee was solid.
He was great. I want to talk about him a little bit later, but like early 90s and these types of movies, I don't think you can find a better time in movies of them like building a city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
was all practical.
Tim Burton, this movie, fucking Dark City was wild with that. And this also reminded me a lot of the Spawn movie from 97 too. Just dark, and it's set in a city that doesn't actually fucking exist because it's just the worst place on earth.
Yeah, Spawn's a good comparison point.
Yeah.
Since that came out a few years later. And yeah, like I said, like I thought this, like the atmosphere reminded me of Dark City of this one. But I mean, this was super 90s. Like, it's no shocker that like when this movie was made, like Kurt Cobain was still alive. Like, it very much has that like Seattle, like shitty fucking like druggy, just dark 90s like existence to it. Like, this is what I just can picture, like the worst of the worst like cities in the 90s like being like, with all these shitty gangs and stuff like that, and the type of crime that cops are dealing with and stuff. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was like, I mean, it's very dark. It's not a fun movie. Like, it's dealing with the main character and his wife being murdered on Halloween, and then
right off the bat too. They just like
right. They don't waste any time. And like his wife's like raped and murdered, like it just like beaten to death. Like takes her like 24 hours or whatever to finally die. Like, it's real shitty.
Yeah.
And then he comes back a year later and is looking for vengeance. And it's just a lot of fucking vengeance. Like, really the entire movie is just him like picking off everyone one by one until it gets like really like personal at the end, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
I think I enjoyed it less than you guys.
Oh.
There were parts of this that I enjoyed. I thought the villains were all very like 90s like caricatures. Like, they're like, none of them felt like real people.
And they were all
just
played by like character actors. Like, everyone was like, I recognize him.
Yeah, and they were just like, just go super hammy with it and over the top, which is how every single one of them was hammy.
It makes sense because it was only like 4 years after Dick Tracy, and that was like all these big actors playing like these ridiculous, like over the top villains.
Yeah.
Rocketeer had over the top villains.
It's like, what you did in superhero.
Very much, like, in the early 90s.
I'll also say there wasn't enough Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
He was great.
I wanted more.
He references Ghost though, which I thought was a good touch.
Yeah. It's always a treat when Ernie Hudson's in a movie. Just like, and like watching Congo, and you're like, oh fuck, it's Ernie Hudson. That's amazing. Ernie Hudson's like one of the best parts of Congo. Is his character's so good.
Yep.
I found it that one
I
scene.
didn't realize he was in this movie.
I had no fucking idea.
I was like, holy shit.
Neither did I.
It's Ernie Hudson.
I did one of these, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great.
The only person I knew that was in it going into it was Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
But yeah, the scene where Ernie Hudson, he's like in his house and he's wearing his like cop hat. I was like, what the fuck? This is such a weird touch. But then like Brandon Lee's character like mentions it. I was like, okay. Pretty funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, what did you guys think of Brandon Lee as just an actor? because he was starting to get some sort of notoriety, and I guess some of like the more martial arts films he did, and this was his sort of like first break into doing like a non-martial arts type of thing and trying to get out of his father's shadow.
I personally thought he was incredibly hammy and over the top. Like I can totally see like teenagers and 20-something-year-olds in the 90s absolutely fucking adoring this character. But yeah, I thought he was very over the top. I don't know how he would have been as an actor had he not unfortunately died while making this film.
Seriously.
I definitely agree with Murph. He was definitely hammy and over the top, but he had like a interesting physical acting aspect to him that I noticed very, very quickly, that I thought, would, if he was still alive, I think he probably would have been a positive aspect of his performances. But that I definitely saw the character as, quite hammy.
Yeah, he had a lot of energy.
Yeah,
Like you could tell.
He
had a
he
lot of
did.
energy.
And like when the movie started and he first starts speaking, I was like, oh wow, he can't act at all. Like I was just like, this is kind of taking me out of it. But I think like the what was it, the pawn shop scene where he goes to the pawn shop, and he's got like this interesting presence when he's in that scene where he's like kind of like he's kind of like, it's like a more fun energy than I expected from the character. He's kind of like got a weird walk about him where he's kind of like hunched a little bit, and then he's like popping down from the ceiling and things like that. And I was like, all right, like I felt like just from a physical standpoint, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like Heath Ledger's Joker.
I was
agree.
Gonna say he's like a good version of Jared Leto's Joker.
Oh, that's fucked up.
But like a good version.
Okay.
There
were definitely
more like what he was trying for.
Yeah, there were definitely a couple scenes where he was more animated, and I thought the character was a lot better that like when the guy shoots his hand and he's sitting there like doing the laugh when his hand's just closing. I thought that was fucking brilliant. I really liked that scene a lot.
Yeah.
Conversely, that's the scene
It's
where he
weird
dies. In reality,
is it?
Yeah.
That was the one where he died.
Yeah. So the one shot to his gut is.
There's when I was watching the movie, they shoot him so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, is that the one? Like, is that the one?
So I read about it. And it's just such a horrible chain of events, is that they go down to buy the blanks, and the guy buys a box of live rounds, I think for his own purposes, keeps it in his car. They had one scene where they were loading a gun and they needed a dummy bullet, so they took the bullet apart, or they took the magazine apart. They took all the powder out, put the bullet back in, and the bullet like got stuck in the gun, the prop gun. So when the blank went off, it shot the bullet out of the gun and just hit him in the gut, and he died like 6 hours later. Absolutely fucking horrible.
So shitty.
And the actor who was in the scene with him, who shot him, like he didn't want to come back.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Like that wasn't like a stunt person or anything. That was like an actual actor.
Yeah, it was.
Which one was it?
Which
character?
Massey,
Fun Boy.
Fun Boy.
So
something. Charles Massey, I think that's his
Michael
name.
Massey.
Yeah,
Michael Massey.
He was the guy that was doing heroin with the lady.
He's not alive anymore.
It was Ira Gaines on 24.
Oh, was it Ira Gaines?
Yeah, the first season of 24.
Shit. Yeah.
God damn.
Yep. And he they had a really hard time getting him back. One of the other actors just straight up fucking didn't come back. After that happened.
God damn.
And like there's so many scenes in this with bullets and
and he died.
Yeah, he died.
Sucks.
I don't know how the fuck you get back on that scene and do it. And everyone was saying like, so this movie was kind of killing Brandon Lee as he was making. I read like this whole article about it today. Dude was every scene he's like barely wearing any clothes. It rains every fucking scene. So he was just in water drenched the entire time. He was working long hours. I think they shot all of his scenes in like 6 days or something ridiculous. And he was just run the fuck down from this movie, and then that's how it all
crazy.
ends. Is just absolutely horrible.
It brings up an interesting like topic of how like playing these like dark, crazy roles like really do fucking take a toll on
Mhm.
these like actors. I've been reading a lot about the Many Saints of Newark, and a lot of the people are they're talking to the actors about like James Gandolfini and stuff like that, and like I didn't realize like how much of a hard time he had playing that such like a dark role for so long. Like I just can't imagine myself being affected in that way, but that's probably why I would never be able to do anything nearly as good as like
Yeah.
these performances. Really like kind of fucks up their psyche.
I'm surprised Bryan Cranston's still a functioning human being.
Right? Yeah,
Being the
exactly.
worst
Like
person
that's
ever.
yeah, like that type of role. And like you heard all that shit about like Heath Ledger, like how
Mhm.
the Joker affected him as much as it did. You hear about it with other actors as well.
How Jared Leto was an
yeah,
asshole in real life, but
yeah.
then just blamed it on being the Joker.
Exactly.
The ability to disconnect, you know, from intense roles like that must be very, very, very hard.
Yeah. Well,
Some actors just can't do it, or they come across a certain performance where they have a hard time shaking it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also just got to be exhausting being the complete opposite of yourself for 6 months, 7 months.
True.
Like on command has to be there every time.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's wild. I thought he did a pretty okay job. Like I don't think he was gonna win any awards or anything like that, but I think in this type of role, I liked some of the energy he brought to it. He seemed like he was really committed to being the face of this movie.
I mean, it really was like his first big role, so like he would have gotten better.
Yeah.
And he probably would have been in the sequels. Like, instead, I was reading like they've made like 4 sequels this movie,
There's
and
a
like
TV show.
each one, TV show with the Demacus, Mark
Dacakis, yeah.
Yeah, they did like Kirsten Dunst was in like the 3rd one. Like it's crazy, and I know they've been trying to reboot it forever.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if
yeah,
the
I
TV
mean, it
show's
sucks
gonna-
when like these actors like their careers just get cut short.
especially over something so fucking stupid as like check the goddamn guns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like the number one rule of owning a gun is always loaded.
Well,
Always
especially
check.
the specialist who was controlling all the props. Like,
Yeah,
it takes 2 minutes to, you know, look at the gun, look at the barrel.
if you're gonna point it,
everything's
if you're gonna
copacetic.
point it at someone, make sure it's not loaded.
Yep. I can't imagine that person probably fared too well after that either, because that's
I have to imagine with like some sort of negligence, like charges or something like that, would be brought into
Probably.
play.
There was. I was reading that
it's got the
Brandon
law
Lee's
side of
lawyer
it.
like settled a negligence claim against the studio. I didn't see the amount, but
And the fucking craziness of like his dad dying like
Mm-hmm. And the same
young as
sort of
well.
way.
Like yeah. What did he die on? Which film was that? Because it was a film, right? That he died on.
I
I
don't
thought
know
he
if
died
it was
of.
a
I think he died of. He was sick.
no.
Okay.
yeah, I thought it was like
Oh yeah,
cancer or something.
cerebral
Cerebral
edema.
palsy. Did he have like?
No.
Cerebral edema. It says on
Yeah.
Wikipedia. Edema.
Yeah, I don't think he died on a movie.
But yeah, I mean, he was still young. He was only fucking 32 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Did you guys
32
know,
and 28
Yeah.
for the two of them.
Did you guys notice any of the scenes where he wasn't himself? Because
I did not. I did not notice. I will say I
One
was
really
watching
stuck
on a
out to me.
computer though, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like the best way of watching it.
It's also not the
There
most
was-
high quality movie.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean any movie you watch from back in the day,
No.
and this movie that's all in darkness, rain, and stuff like that makes it even tougher.
Yep.
To notice
The
something
scene
like
that I knew about that was in the movie that wasn't, or the shot that wasn't him, I went back and I watched it again and I was like, wow, that was actually pretty good. When he's in his apartment in the beginning of the movie and he's like, you see that like long shot of him looking out the skylight window. Him standing there, that's a shot that's not him, and they took at the time special effects and did like Brandon Lee's face over the guy.
I I mean,
the stunt double,
over
lucky.
the director of John Wick.
director of John Wick.
Oh, it was Chad Stalinsky or
Yeah,
the other one.
yeah,
Yeah.
JP called that out. That's
That's
It was
fascinating.
Chad.
in
It was
itself.
Chad.
Pretty
that
sure
one.
it was Chad. Yeah.
But
Wild.
yeah, a lot of the stuff that they did, I was reading about it that because he filmed most of the stuff, so like it was a
only
lot
the
of
indoor
like
scenes they were saying
Yeah.
was what he hadn't filmed.
a lot of like stunt
But-
doubles, and then using like special effects to put like his likeness over like the director of John Wick's face and like stuff like that. So it was pretty well done.
There was
Pretty
a scene
seamless.
that felt like off to me, and I have to assume it was because they didn't have him, but maybe it's just the way they filmed it. But it's like a scene where he returns to the apartment and is like with the girl, and the girl like runs and hugs him. And it's like their big moment where they're like reunited,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and his like whole face is covered with like his hair is over his face, and she runs and hugs him, and then it's like the end of the scene, and it just felt weird to me that like you don't see his face, and there's no like facial reaction. These characters
It's
like
possible.
embracing just felt like really off to me,
Yeah.
and it felt like it cut way too early. So I have to imagine it's, unless that's just like some weird artistic take by the
did it a
director.
couple times,
If
I thought though. I kind of
Yeah.
noticed that it's like a typical '90s thing where it's like, okay, I have no idea how to transition from here to here. Just fade out, and we'll come
Yeah,
right
exactly.
back. You play like
even
some-
that-
like you're on the hand, and then just fades out and then comes back into some other grunge.
Speaking of that,
it just felt like it should have been a moment, and it
Yeah.
wasn't. It just like they felt like they like used by it.
speaking of that girl character, what did you think of that whole like relationship? and
Dude,
that,
it's
like
it's
side
the
story?
room. Their entire relationship was the room. She's Denny. And they even
She's
have like the
Denny.
sex scene halfway through, and it felt so roomy to me.
I never even thought about that, but
They
yeah.
take care of me.
They take care of her. She's got a mom, but they take care of her. It felt like the room. It felt like Denny.
Oh, hi, Denny.
Oh, hi, murderers.
Oh my God.
It
In the
was.
back-
I thought she was a good
Tony-
actress, though.
I thought she was
Yeah.
pretty good, and
Surprisingly.
I was surprised. I
She was good.
looked up, and she never like did anything else, which I was really surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she kind of looks familiar, but
Yeah.
she wasn't actually in anything.
I mean, she was on set when someone got murdered in front of her, so maybe she was
That's
just
true.
like,
that
"Okay,
could
don't
be
do
a
this
good
anymore."
reason. Yeah, good reason to stop.
Plus, I mean, you've acted in a movie with Ernie Hudson, so I mean, can it
You've already
really get any
peaked.
better?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I like seeing Tony Todd.
Yeah, what was I was just about to say?
Yeah.
What was his character like? What he was like? Way like he didn't seem like
He's
he
just
was
kind of there.
Yeah,
was-
I
he
don't
was-
even know how to describe him.
He also
was
didn't
like-
seem phased at all that some dude broke out of his coffin and just started like wandering around murdering people. He's
He
like,
was like
yeah, there's
this
no
weird-
body there.
He was like this weird advisor. Who
Yeah. To the
didn't
guy
seem
with
like
the funny
a
haircut.
badass. Like he's always like a badass in movies, and this one he was just sort of like there.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
it was pretty weird. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
he
just
was like
name
his
recognition.
confidant.
I was like Candyman. What do you? Yeah, he's like the consigliere for
Yeah.
that really grimy ass gang leader.
Dude,
I forgot.
that guy looked like fucking Herman Lee from Dragon Force. When I first saw it, I was like, is this Herman Lee? But
That
it turns
hair?
out he's not Asian. So,
No, he's not.
but like,
You're
fucking,
talking about the boss guy.
yeah, he looks like
Money
Herman Lee
Man,
from
or-
Dragon
I forgot what-
Force.
He was
Yeah.
a bad guy in 24 too.
Was he really?
He was the bad guy in the mini series that they did, the revival series
Oh,
with
God.
Kiefer.
That's
Oh
wild.
my God.
Apparently,
Or everybody from Crow.
Mia Kirshner was in the movie too. I didn't see her. She was the one who played Mandy on 24, and she was in it too. I didn't see her.
She was probably a baby or something.
I mean, not a baby. I mean,
Well,
it was only 7 years before 24.
oh shit. Oh,
It
yeah.
seems like it would be such a long time ago.
Well, I
but,
mean,
like,
she was probably like a teenager because she was
Yeah,
only
like-
like 20 something when like early 20s
were-
when
There weren't that many characters in this movie, so I'm trying to like think of like a younger female other than
she
the
would have
mom.
been 19 years old.
wow.
Was she the mom?
She was
No.
26 when when
Or
what
maybe
you
she was
talking
only maybe she was only in the sequel. I don't know. Pretend I didn't
about?
even
Maybe she
mention
was
her.
the Crow.
But she's the star of the sequel movie. Oh, she plays the grown-up version of the main the girl in the first one.
Oh, okay.
In the second one.
Got it. Those sequels are supposed to be terrible, right?
Yes, I'm
sure.
read up on them. They're not
Okay.
supposed to be good.
What did you think
Um,
about like the Crow as an actual character? Like, I thought it was
I didn't
pretty neat.
I didn't understand all those powers. Like, he seemed like he just kept getting them like as it went along. Like how he could put the power like
Yeah, that one at the
bad
end was a little.
put the bad
Yeah, they
experience
should have like set that up.
that somebody else went through. I didn't see that coming.
Pretty fucking badass though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I thought they made sense.
Yeah.
All of the pain that someone has gone through within like the however long. Like, does it matter? Is it only 24 hours, or can I
Well, no,
take
'cause
like
she-
years?
No,
of...
she was.
That's how long she was like.
She was
dying
alive
for.
and dying
Yeah.
for 30 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like because there's a monster in D&D that's called a revenant, and it's basically someone that's brought back to life, and their sole purpose is to fucking kill the person that put them in the grave, and that's what drives them. And they basically don't have to eat, don't have to sleep, and that's really what he was. He was brought back to avenge his death and his fiance's death. And the thing with the Crow was a little weird. As long as the Crow's alive, he doesn't
Yeah, they
show
sort of-
his powers.
And they got
Violet-
smart
kinda
towards
cool.
the end.
Byling's just like deciding what the
Yeah.
rules probably are. Like,
Yeah, it's like she's Asian. She knows how the crow thing works.
Look how mystical she dresses. Like,
it was fairly ridiculous.
in all
died in a
fairness,
horrible
though,
way.
like the main boss was like dressed up like some fucking Ren Fair reject dude, and he had all the swords and shit. So
He
maybe
looked
she
like
was
a
his wizard.
musketeer. He looked
Yeah.
like something out of Highlander.
Yeah, he really did. He looked like a budget rate Christopher Lambert
Christopher
or fucking Herman Lee from Dragon Force.
He looked like a jabroni.
He was pretty sick. His voice was cool though.
Yeah, he had a rasp.
Yeah, I read that he's a like popular voice actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the character. I thought it had extreme promise. I think it could make a pretty decent movie nowadays, but I don't think anyone would watch it.
What about the pawn shop guy? You recognize him?
Oh,
you
dude,
must
he's
have
like
recognized
every
him.
fucking 90s
Yeah.
movie.
He's
every
in
90s.
So many things.
I was gonna.
Wasn't he in
uh,
Bad Boys? I feel like he was.
Rocketeer. a
He's
lot of
always
the
got
Coen
that
brother movies.
pencil mustache and everything.
Yeah. He just looks like he's from another time.
He really does. He did a good job. That whole pawn shop scene was really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your
Yeah,
favorite
I liked it too.
death scene in this movie? I mean, that one wasn't a death scene, but
Yeah. That one was cool. I thought
like
the
the
car was
boardroom.
pretty neat.
Mm.
Yeah, the fucking boardroom was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that was his best entrance when he just sort of walks in and hops up on the chair, and
Yeah.
then they just blow him away.
that had a very Heath Ledger Joker scene to
Yeah.
it. Like when he first goes up to all the mob bosses.
Yeah,
Only played very differently.
Mm-hmm.
very differently. I still think the standout scene is when he's got his hand in front and it's just he's laughing and it just goes back. Because that's just so fucking unsettling.
That was
Yeah.
was that the one with the knives?
No,
or
that's
was that a
the
different one?
that's the one with the
No.
heroin guy.
The
That's the
bedroom.
one with the
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the
yeah,
mother and the
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't do more.
He's like, you're not
Bad
addicted
for
to
you."
morphine anymore.
That's
I
true.
dude, he's got so many powers.
Yeah, they're pretty cool powers. And all you have to do is have your loved one be murdered and raped in front of you and get thrown out of a fucking like 70-story window in a city that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Dude, when they all took the shots with the bullets, I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
I did like the relationship though with Ernie Hudson and him. It was different that like
Yeah.
they were like too cool with each other. Like this is
Yeah.
a really violent vigilante. It's not like fucking Batman and Gordon. And he's just like, all right, well, he came back from the dead. Fuck it, just like kill everyone. And
He gets over that real fast.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck it,
He's
I'm
like,
going with this.
you're going to suspend me from the force? I'm just going to let this guy murder everyone. I might even help him too. And I love how he figures it out. He gets the picture and he He just draws little lines over his eyes and puts a smile on his face. He goes, "Well, that's obviously him."
They kind of copied the ending with Batman '89 with the cathedral stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Like,
bit.
that was definitely that had to have been an inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, it worked for fucking Batman. Let's do it.
Yeah,
We'll have a crow biting a chick's eyes out.
that was pretty badass. I love how he like pulls the thing off the roof and suddenly it's just the most ornate sword in the world. He goes pulls that metal thing off the roof,
Like
gets
an
struck
antenna.
by lightning in the process,
Yeah.
and then it's just like,
Yeah.
oh cool, this is a perfectly balanced sword, of which I know how to use.
I was reading something today that the remake that they've been trying to make for a long time, like Jason Momoa is like an actor
I saw he was attached.
which I was actually like, I could actually
Too
see
big.
that.
I think I saw Mark Wahlberg was attached.
Oh god,
What?
That would be so bad.
please God no.
Can you imagine him in like a wig?
Can he be the bad guy instead? Gotta burn the city down. The city,
Oh,
it's too not on fire right now. Burn it to
Yeah,
the
Mark-
ground.
Mark Wahlberg was in talks to lead in 2010.
I'm so
Oh
fucking
my
happy that
God.
didn't happen.
With
I think-
additional rumors of Channing Tatum or Ryan Gosling,
Ugh. You
I
need
mean Ryan Gosling, I could see,
Yeah.
as
but
well as James
Not-
McAvoy. McAvoy could do it.
McAvoy,
Yeah, McAvoy
McAvoy
could do
could
it.
definitely do it.
You need
Yeah.
like a lanky, not Jason Mimosa, fucking gigantic built dude.
Yeah, and then at one point Ridley Scott was going.
Oh, that would've been cool.
And Tom
Ridley Scott was going to direct it.
Tom Hiddleston was going.
Oh, dude, I would
Wow,
totally
yeah.
watch Tom Hiddleston do that.
Or I think no,
Movie's-
someone just mentioned Ridley Scott
Oh.
possibly.
The movie's been
directing
in like development hell for fucking forever.
Yo, you know who would make a solid one of this? Finch. Get Finch dog in on this. Let's go real
Luke-
dark.
it. Luke Evans was cast at one point.
And then
Jack-
they just made it a TV
Like
show.
Houston at one point. Jeez, they really had everyone.
I think right now the director of The Nun is attached to it to direct.
Ew.
Just let the thing be its own thing, and
Yeah,
that would
That
probably be
being
the
said,
best way to
though-
go about it.
I'd probably watch it if they remade it in like a more modern context. I don't think it would
Mhm.
work as much without the grunge music and the
I don't know if it'd have to
And
be
the
much
cheese.
different. I mean,
kids.
Set
would
it in the
understand.
'90s. That would be cool.
Oh yeah, that would be
Set it
cool.
in the '90s that people like imagine like.
Oh,
the
set it
scummy
in the '90s like the little things, Jimmy. It's the little things.
Exactly.
Which didn't feel like it was set in the '90s at all.
The Crow,
surprised
the
you-
little
There's just,
thing.
like-
It's the little things.
Yeah, there was like two very small things that were like, oh yeah, there's a Dare poster like way back in the background. It's the 90s.
Check
It's
out
the
this
90s,
cat.
Jimmy.
The fourth one came out in 2005. Check out this cast: Edward Furlong, aka John Connor from T2,
mm-hmm.
David Boreanaz, Tara Reid, Tito Ortiz, Dennis Hopper,
Oh,
Emmanuel Shriek,
Shaqiri, the
Shakir from Sloan from Entourage, and
Oh my
Danny
God.
Trejo.
oh.
This was an actual one. The Crow,
Is this City of Angels?
The Crow, Wicked Prayer in 2005.
Wow.
God.
Oh, you know what? You know what the fucking cherry on top of this cheese ice cream is? His name
Yeah.
is Draven. It's
I know,
Raven with
I
a
know,
D in
I
front of
know.
it, guys.
Oh,
What
So
is it? Eric
so
Draven?
Eric
True.
Draven.
Yeah.
Thomas Jane's in the second one,
He just wants his kids back.
and Iggy Pop.
Wow.
In defense, though, I wonder
Iggy
I
Pop's like a
wonder if
real-life dead
that's
person.
his name. I wonder if that's his name in the comic.
Oh, it
If they
100%
pulled that
is.
from the com-
It's a cheese ass comic written in the 90s. His name is 100% Eric Draven. I'm surprised it's not Eric LaCroix.
How exactly does the Crow like? Why does he get picked to get these like powers? It's just because it's on Devil's Night or whatever. Is that like the reasoning?
Something like that. In the very beginning, she says something along the lines of like the crow brings back the soul to someone, and if they die in a particularly horrible death, they're brought back to do something or other. And that probably has something to do with it.
Wait, does Biling say this randomly? Did she
No,
decide
it's-
that's how it works?
No, the little girl says it.
Yeah, and it's like
She
the
narrates it
voiceover.
in the beginning.
Okay, just as ridiculous.
Yeah, it's. I mean, she's clearly speaking after the fact, or maybe she's into crows.
Was anyone else curious about the cat and how the cat survived for so long?
Cats are
No, just me.
cats are
She's
pretty
just
like,
resilient.
little
Cats are
girl goes to
resilient
the apartment,
creatures.
and she's like, they're just like, this cat's like was in this apartment for a year, and I was like, how did this cat survive for so long?
I mean, look at that
Fucking
apartment.
Gabriel.
Think about the size of the rats that live there. Cat probably feasted for years.
At first, I thought like maybe he brought the cat back to life, but I don't think he did.
That would be cool. Just add that to the list of powers. I can only bring small mammals back to life, but is it at the end of the movie? Are him and his fiance just humping on the grave? Because it pans out. I wasn't sure what they were doing, but it kind of looked like they were just humping on the grave.
It does kind of seem that way, but he's like so tired. He's like,
He's like, I could just roll over and die right now.
I just had a day.
I love the like at the end of the movie when they have like the big gun battle and Ernie Hudson rolls up. He's just like, okay, we're just gonna have you stand there and they're gonna unload all their bullets and then I'm just gonna arrest them all. And he goes, that'd be great, but I don't have any powers anymore. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I thought he was gonna die, Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, me too. And then I thought he was gonna bring him back to life.
And then I was laughing my ass off during that scene where they realized, they're like, oh my god, the crow is his powers. We got to kill the crow.
In all
We're
fairness,
gonna kill that motherfucker, and then he's gonna be human again. He's not gonna be invincible, and they're trying to shoot the crow in the in the cathedral.
in all fairness,
Like a shotgun.
there was that one time when Bai Ling was trying to sneak up and grab the crow and only got a feather, and then she was just staring at the feather in the limo, and she's like, "That's how we do it." I couldn't catch the crow, so clearly it's magical.
If the crow died, wouldn't he just die immediately? Like, you wouldn't have to kill him?
I don't.
He would probably just lose his
Apparently, he
power.
just becomes
Rules
invincible.
'Cause
That
he's
whole
already
scene where they were
dead.
Doesn't make sense.
when they like realized it in like in the car and like they were talking about it, I was dying. They're like, oh, we just have to kill the crow, the bird.
He's like, I
But
like
the
him
rules don't-
already.
The
He's my
rules
new
don't
best
make
friend.
sense.
I mean, the rules kind of make sense. If
But why does hurting the crow like just completely get rid of all of his powers like right off the
'cause
bat?
maybe the crow has
Crow
to
did-
concentrate
Other than,
on
like-
giving him powers.
They're connected.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the same eyes. Like, they're
Right.
watching shit.
Right, but like the crow was still alive. Like he could have been like a little injured, but like still had his power. I don't know. It felt like because the whole movie, I'm like, wow, this is gonna be really boring because he's invincible this entire movie. He can't die. And it just felt like a contrived way to be like, oh look, he's not invincible anymore. There's stakes at the end.
Yeah. I mean,
There were stakes for like 5 minutes, and then
but
they
I
had
mean,
the sword fight.
it was kind of cool that there were stakes at the end because it's like his whole purpose was just to come back and kill those people, and then he had to go
Mhm.
save the kid.
Yeah, I mean, he was done.
But he didn't have
was
his
ready
powers,
to, like,
yeah.
leave, and then that shit happens.
Yep.
All because of Herman Lee.
Because of fucking Herman Lee, and he's sitting there on the
What was
church.
his
just
name?
Blasting
What was his
the-
character's name?
the guitar solo. It was like Money Man or something like that.
They all had the most ridiculous
Oh,
names.
absolutely ridiculous. No,
Tintin.
his name was Top Dollar.
Top Dollar, yeah.
Tintin, Fun Boy, Top Dollar.
Which one was Fun Boy?
Fun Boy was the heroin guy.
the hand guy.
killed
Which
Brandon
one
Lee.
was the guy with the knives?
That was Tintin,
Tintin.
Tintin?
who looks like
Yeah, because he
fucking
takes
hanging with Mr.
Tintin's
Cooper.
jacket, and that's when he finally gets the jacket.
That looks badass. When he takes it off and he looks like he's wearing garbage bags after that, I'm not super into the costume. And then there was T-Bird.
The classic name.
The goons were just like hilarious. I was like, these guys are idiots.
Yeah. And then there's good old
So
John, John
ridiculous.
Polito.
The one guy throwing the knives. I never miss. Okay, bullseye.
All right, bullseye.
Oh, and then there was Skank.
Yes.
Who was the last guy to leave.
Yeah,
He's like,
Skank.
Skank's dead, man. He's over there. He's like, I know. Throws him out the window.
Oh man,
Skank.
Good
terrible
old-
goons.
Good old Skank.
What would you guys give this as ratings out of 10?
I would say probably 7.5.
I was
Out of
actually thinking the same thing. It's like a solid 7.5.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it an 8. I would give it like a solid 7.5.
I went with a 6 on Letterboxd.
It's a good 90s.
I was
movie.
between a 6 and a 5.5.
Really?
5.5,
I think that's too low.
I have for us pulled up on our lovely overlay the Rotten Tomato scores. It's 83%.
Oh yeah, what was it?
83%
80 something.
certified
Oh, wow.
fresh and 90%
That's real.
audience score.
That's really high.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
This is after the fact stuff, though.
I don't know. It's a movie of it. I mean,
Is
it's
that one of those
after the
Rotten
fact right
Tomatoes
now,
where-
dude.
People decide later on that it's a good movie, and then it boosts
Yeah.
the score.
I don't know. I think it's
Yeah, I mean,
it's a
as you
solid movie
sit
of
on
its
it, you might
time.
like it more later. Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I mean, for a comic book movie in the '90s, like, it's better than the majority of them.
Yep.
Yeah, it was definitely a solid 90s film. And like even I mean, I know I mentioned this before, like the practical effects and the sets were really nice, but even like the decent amount of special effects that was in the movie, it wasn't overbearing. Like it didn't seem like that hokey. Like you knew that it was like, okay, that's special effects from the 90s, but it wasn't didn't really get in the way of the movie. Like it aged well.
Yep. Makes me
Visually.
want to watch Dark City. It makes me want to watch Spawn. And I'm probably gonna do both those things.
Spawn. That's with
Mike
what's his
John
name?
Leguizamo.
No, I'm thinking
Michael J. White.
Mike. No. Who's the villain in that movie?
John
It's,
Leguizamo.
No.
Yeah.
Michael J. White.
The human villain.
John
There's a
guy-
Leguizamo.
human.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. There you go.
John
I was gonna say Charlie
Leguizamo.
Sheen.
Joe
John
Manganiello.
John Leguizamo's not human in that movie.
He's a clown.
He is a clown.
He's a monster.
That's a good movie though.
All right. Anything else that you guys wanted to mention about Crow?
The makeup could have been darker. It was the little eyes were a little light in some
Seems
of
like
the
it was
shots.
washing off.
He's just correct me if I'm, he's just using the same makeup that he was using just as a rock guy, right? Like in his band.
There was like a mask on his. I never really understood why he put the makeup on, but there was a mask that had like the same stuff on there when he was going nuts and reliving his death.
Yeah.
And I think he just copied that.
But where did the makeup come from? I thought for some reason I thought it was his wife's makeup, but I guess it would. She would just be putting on this like super white.
Well, yeah, I don't know
I don't
about
know.
the white
I
stuff.
guess.
Also,
Foundation.
why would his wife's makeup still be there a year later?
I mean, it didn't look like they touched the apartment afterwards.
Yeah, they put up like a freaking like little banner that said like crime scene
Yeah.
or whatever, and they just like left the apartment alone.
That's like, it's such a beautiful apartment too. It's at the top of this gigantic building with a huge window.
Did the entire murder have to do with the fact that like they wanted to like do different real estate things,
Yeah, it was a little silly.
but then they left the house as it was?
It's-
It was a whole like a real estate scheme. He was like fucking goddamn Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. I think it's probably
And then
because of
he-
the murder. The cops probably shut that shit down.
And he was like, no, I'll move on.
And it's the early
No.
90s, so obviously his fiance has black lipstick because that's what you wore back then in grungy
Truth.
fake Seattle, where it never stops raining. Did it stop raining at the end of the movie?
It did.
Okay.
Was
'Cause
it
I remember-
light at the end of the movie for a
I
little
don't
bit too?
remember it.
Do they say like what?
I just remember
this
them
take-
humping on the grave as it
Does
pans
this,
out.
does this take place in a real city, or is it?
Dude, I really
No.
want that hot dog scene. I'm really craving hot dogs
Yo,
right now.
that looked like a good hot dog.
Like, can we
That
go
was
to
a
like?
big hot dog too.
Can,
Huge.
can
That
we,
was like a foot.
Can we
we
address
interrupt-
how much condiments he put on there? Like
Oh, man,
they were putting
onions.
ketchup on for a solid 3 minutes.
Mustard
He
on
was
the
all
bottom.
in on the mustard. Can we go to Rutsa? Like, can we do that? Because like
Yeah.
I'm really in the mood now.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. I'm down.
God damn.
All right. Well, I think that's it then.
The Crow.
JP, good pick.
Come for the murder, stay for the hot dogs.
There you go.
Yeah, I like this movie.
Yes.
I'm happy I
Good pick,
watched it.
JP. Good
Okay.
90s flick.
Well, that's all we've got for today. Thank you again for listening. On our next installment, we're going to recap the summer box office and conduct our fall box office draft. So stay tuned for that, since this I'd say the summer box office draft was probably the most fun thing that we've done over the past few months. Both the draft and following it. So, if you want to know what we're talking about over the next few months, stay tuned for that episode so you can see what we pick.
Maybe
as always,
maybe we have some stakes on this one.
I like the idea of having stakes on this one. And that's not even
not get anything
that's
for
not
winning
even,
the.
that's not even because I want it. No, we didn't put anything up. Not even like a pick a movie type thing. We didn't do anything. It was just for fun. But I totally would like to do it like some sort of stakes for the fall.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we're going to need to determine what the start date and end date is. Like, do we end it on January 1st? Or do we end it like a month after Spider-Man opens? Like, we have to figure out how that's going to work.
True.
But that's something we can figure out before our next episode. And we'll figure out what the stakes are. Because I like that idea, JP.
Maybe it's actually stakes.
Ooh, I like that idea too. Christmas steaks. We'll end it. We can end it for the holiday season, and we can have Christmas steaks. But yeah, as always, this has been Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph at Live Breathe Film. We'll see you again next time, movie lovers. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna shut down Twitch. Love you all. You're over here.
Bye, Twitch.
Thanks for watching, Twitchers.
I gotta go to bed.